Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 941 Break Through the True Spirit, a 100-fold improvement. At this time, the quasi-Tao world was divided into real kingdoms, and 90% of the territory was covered by the real kingdom. Only 10% of the territory was owned by those small forces with extraordinary backgrounds, or the resource-poor land, and the real kingdom. Invisible area. Certainly, some territories are still stationed by the major forces of the real country, and gradually formed a piece of trading area and chaotic area. With the passage of time, the division of forces in the entire Quandao world was settled. When the quasi-Tao world was just promoted, the resources at this time were very rich, countless true monarchs and heavenly monarchs were looking for resources, and the human race was also scavenging resources. Yi Tian also did not retreat, and ran out to find resources. With the help of countless people from the human race, Yi Tian searched for resources very fast. Although those human race cultivation bases were weak, but there were too many people, they naturally found more treasures. In addition, Yi Tian has a big world shift, shuttles between small worlds, and the speed of rushing completely surpasses other true monarchs, so the speed of collecting resources is also in the forefront. 29 For a full 100,000 years, the army of collecting resources has been in action. After that, resources began to become scarce, and although new resources were born, it took time, so a large number of true monarchs began to retreat and cultivate. And under such circumstances, the human race began to advance by leaps and bounds, one after another was born, and the number of half-step true spirit powerhouses became more and more. Of course, no matter how many heavenly sovereigns and so many half-step true spirits are not much use, in the eyes of top true sovereigns, these people are all ants. What the human race really lacks is that rare peerless genius, at least a genius who can be promoted to the level of 7 or 8-star gods. Only such a genius can hope to become a real powerhouse. It would be even better if another transcendence could be born. Yi Tian did not live in the Zushan Palace anymore, but built a huge palace in his own territory, and let Zhenjin Longhai and others arrange an amazing defense formation and other formations to bless him. Anyway, once the real country is built, as long as it is within the scope of the real country, there is no problem with security. Even if someone attacks, the real emperors in the real country can quickly support it. Therefore, Yi Tian doesn't need to practice in the Hall of Void Heaven, just practice in his own territory. Training room. Yi Tian is hitting the real monarch realm at the moment. He is about to complete 100% fusion. Once the flesh body and the chaotic true spirit are completely fused, the shackles that hinder him will be broken, and the true spirit and flesh will not be separated from each other. And Yi Tian is different from the general half-step true spirit. His spirit, chi and spirit are integrated, and the true spirit and the flesh are fused together, and he will also indirectly merge with the soul and divine power, which is equivalent to the fusion of spirit, spirit and true spirit. In this way, breakthroughs can be made. The benefits are too great. The real spirit realm is a stage in which the strength of the real spirit is continuously improved. The real spirit at the beginning is still relatively weak, but the real spirit can continue to be tempered in the real spirit stage, which is equivalent to tempering the physical body. In the previous realm, although the physical body is important, but it is far from the level of true spirit. It is rumored that the top true monarchs are invincible in their bodies, because only when their bodies are tempered to the extreme, and the future avenues in their souls fuse, their bodies will be able to accommodate them. Otherwise, if their bodies are weak, they will explode directly. There is no way to attack the realm of the Tao. At the level of the true spirit, the physical body is too important, and the chaotic body refining technique is also very important. What I condense is the chaotic true spirit, so I must temper the physical body to far surpass other only at the level of a true monarch can you go to the realm of the great Tao, otherwise you will definitely explode. Yi Tian thought to himself. Of course, it was still too far from him to reach the realm of the great Tao. What he is going to attack now is the real spirit realm. Boom. The physical body and the true spirit are 100% integrated, and Yi Tian's realm has officially broken through to the real spirit realm. Under normal circumstances, when a low-grade real spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, the physical body will be doubled. The middle-grade real spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, and the physical body will be tripled. The high-grade real spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, and the physical body will be increased by 5 times, while the supreme real spirit will increase by 5 times. When the spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, the physical body will be increased 10 times, and when the high real spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, the physical body will be increased by 15 times. This is also the reason why many Tianjiao want to condense the supreme true spirit and the quasi-high true spirit. And the 10-star God General is expected to condense the supreme true spirit in the future, but no one knows that once the supreme true spirit is promoted to the real spirit realm, the rate of improvement of the physical body is 30 times. This is a very exaggerated increase, and it is a basic increase, and it is a gap that will never be bridged. It is a pity that people who can condense the highest true spirit are too rare, and there may not be one person in an era. Even a genius like Longhai Zhenjin only condenses the quasi-high true spirit. But Yi Tian is different. What he condenses is the chaotic true spirit, which is above the supreme true spirit. Therefore, Yi Tian is very curious about how much the physical body is improved after he has been promoted to the real spirit realm. Soon, the physical body began to transform. Yi Tian took out countless resources, and the chaotic vitality here is also very strong. Although it is not as good as that of the Void Heaven Temple, it has also condensed a small chaotic vitality lake. Boom! The chaotic primordial chi lake poured into Yi Tian's body, and those resources turned into pure energy also poured into Yi Tian's body, accelerating his physical transformation. Double, 18, 10 times, 15 times, 30 times. Exceeds the physical enhancement effect brought by the promotion of the Supreme True Spirit. Yi 247 said excitedly. Soon, his physical body improved 50 times, and it wasn't over yet. 60 times, 70 times, 80 times. After a long time, Yi Tian's body gradually stabilized, and the rate of improvement became slower and slower, until he could no longer improve in the slightest. At this time, the transformation that belonged to Yi Tian really ended. 100. Yi Tian took a deep breath. His current physical body has improved by 100 times, what a heaven-defying improvement. Moreover, his divine soul has also increased 10 times, and his chaotic divine power has also been refined by more than 10 times, and the total amount has only increased several times. But this is only just a breakthrough. Once he stabilizes his realm and cultivates a little more, his strength will increase greatly. In a word, Yi Tian's current strength is too strong, far surpassing before. If he uses his current strength to invade the Demon Sound sect, one move would be enough to blow up the entire Demon Sound sect headquarters. However, there is still a big gap between my current strength and those on the True Monarch list. The True Monarchs on the True Monarch list are all people who have cultivated for countless years, even several generations ago. Everyone can leapfrog to kill the true ancestor. Yi Tian muttered, but he is very confident that it won't be long before he will have a place on the list of True Monarchs. Chapter 942 The True Spirit Chapter of Xuanshu Art. After reaching the real spirit realm, Yi Tian began to prepare for the later cultivation. He has just broken through and is still in the early stage of the true spirit. If he wants to improve his cultivation, he will continue to temper the true spirit. The true spirit shall prevail. If the true spirit reaches the middle stage of the true spirit, the cultivation will naturally be automatically upgraded to the middle stage of the true spirit. Yi Tian's true spirit is a chaotic true spirit, and it is difficult to improve, but every bit of improvement is much stronger than other true spirits. The power of the true spirit is enough to make Yi Tian's physical body tempering more thoroughly, but the fastest shortcut to improve the true spirit and cultivation is to practice the Chaos Body Refinement Technique. Originally, the Chaos Body Refinement Technique was created for the true sovereign of the true spirit realm. Later, a simpler Chaos Body Refinement Technique gradually evolved, and began to be used by the Heavenly Sovereign, God Generals, and Earth Venerables. Now, I have stepped into the realm of True Spirit, and the True Spirit chapter of Xuanshu can be practiced. There are 9 levels in the True Spirit chapter, and each time you increase one level, the physical body will be twice as strong. The third layer belongs to the middle stage of the real spirit realm, and the last 3 layers belong to the late stage of the real realm. Yi Tian muttered, because for him, every time the chapter of the true spirit of Xuanshu goes up one level, his strength skyrockets. Certainly, Xuanshu's true spirit chapter is also more difficult to cultivate. It is not that you can make rapid progress with enough resources, but it requires a certain understanding plus a lot of resources and also has enough potential. For example, some true monarchs with poor physical foundation can only cultivate 2 or 3 levels of the true spirit chapter of Xuanxuju at most. However, even if there is no way to successfully cultivate the true spirit chapter, the cultivation base can continue to improve, just need to improve the real spirit realm, but in that case, the physical body is far less powerful than other true monarchs. Such true monarchs are just weak chickens, that's it. For the true spirits, raising the true spirit, refining the physical body, and improving the prototype of the avenue, this is most of the training content. Some weaker true monarchs can also comprehend the chaotic supernatural powers, or practice more powerful chaotic supernatural powers. However, some geniuses have cultivated a chaotic supernatural power to the extreme level as early as the Tianjin level, and if they practice a few more chaotic supernatural powers, their strength will not increase much unless they can create the original supernatural power. However, if the true monarch level wants to create the source magical power, it is extremely difficult. Therefore, for many true monarchs, what they want most is to condense a complete avenue, try to break through into the realm of the avenue, and become a true ancestor. But this step is too difficult. Yi Tian learned that many true monarchs in the Hall of Void Heaven had already reached their peak, and they were only waiting to complete a complete avenue, but so far they have not been able to succeed. There are even many true monarchs whose avenues have been raised to 99,999 meters, and a complete avenue can be formed only 1 meter away, but 1 meter away is like a moat. If there is no great perseverance, great chance, and great luck in this meter, there is no way to break through. Even true monarch Longhai has been trapped in this step for at least 10 billion years, and has never been able to break through. In the chaos, the number of true monarchs exceeds hundreds of millions, but the number of true ancestors is not too many, because of the prototype of the Great Tao. Yi Tian was also extremely shocked when he heard the news. At present, most of the powerhouses in the chaos who can break through to the real ancestor realm rely on massive time grinding. If it cannot be broken through in 10 billion years, it will take 100 billion years. If it cannot break through in 100 billion years, it will take 1 trillion years. If it cannot be broken through, it will take 10 trillion years to break through. Under the long years, there are always a few lucky ones who can break through. This is all about perseverance and luck. But there are actually 2 ways. One is to thoroughly understand the essence of the Great Tao and have a detached understanding of the Great Tao, which can break the shackles and condense a complete Great Tao. The major top forces have some supreme Taoist scriptures, which tell the mysteries of various avenues, but in fact, the scriptures of each major force are not complete. Even in the Zhuxian lineage, there are only 3 supreme Taoist scriptures, which represent 3 kinds of avenues respectively. If you are cultivating these 3 great ways, you can use the supreme Tao to spend some time trying to break the shackles. But if you are cultivating other avenues, then there is no other way, you can only rely on another method, that is to use some strange things to break through. There are some rare strange objects in the chaos that can help break the shackles. Even the shackles of the prototype of the avenue can also be broken. Once you get that kind of strange object, you can break through to the realm of the avenue and become a true ancestor. However, this kind of strange thing is too rare. Once it appears, it will cause countless real monarchs to snatch it. True monarch Longhai has never obtained such a strange thing. He cultivates 3 avenues, namely, the avenues of water, the avenues of power, and the avenues of wind. These 3 avenues form his own Longhai avenues, while those of the virtual world are 1. There is only the supreme Taoism of the Tao of water, so there is no way for Longhai Zhenjin to break through the Taoism, and can only rely on time to grind or rely on strange things. My endless avenue is far beyond other people's, and if I want to completely form a 100,000 meter avenue, the difficulty is probably far beyond others. Even if my understanding is against the sky, I am afraid it is extremely difficult. Maybe I will be sleepy at that time. In the true monarch's extreme long years. Yi Tian guessed. Of course, all of this is uncertain. If there are some strange things born in the realm of the quasi-Tao, and it is a strange thing that can help him break through, wouldn't he be able to easily enter the real ancestor realm? Practice the Xuanxu art first. 1. Yi Tian entered the retreat. As the years passed, the rivalry of the forces in the Quandao world gradually stabilized, and each major force was trying its best to develop its own real country, and the entire Quandao world ushered in an unprecedented prosperity. In a flash, 10 million years have passed. Finally, the first level of the true spirit chapter of the Xuanxuju has been thoroughly cultivated, the physical body has doubled, and the strength has skyrocketed. Yi Tian opened his heart. But when I think of the Xuanxu art, there are 9 layers in total, but now it has only become the first layer of the mere first layer, and it has taken thousands of years and spent a lot of resources. If he continued to cultivate, wouldn't the time spent be exaggerated? However, I am much faster than others. Even if other people enter the time-accelerating magic circle, they have massive resources, but as far as I know, the disciples who can practice the first level of the true spirit chapter of the Xuanxu Ju, at least it took him a billion years. Yi Tian thought, and most of the disciples of the Zhuxian lineage will at most give up the practice of the true spirit chapter of the Xuanxu Ju to the 3rd or 4th level, because it is too difficult and a waste of time. It's still resources. The resources on my body are too low level. When I was a Tianjin, these resources were okay, but now at the level of a true monarch, the effect of these resources is too bad. Yi Tian is going to exchange for some advanced resources, otherwise this cultivation speed is too slow. Chapter 943 Duty in Giant City, Exchange Resources. When the quasi-Dao world was just promoted, he and the human race had indeed harvested a huge amount of resources, but most of the resources were relatively average, but the accumulated value was amazing. What Yi Tian needs now is the body refining resources that are helpful for him to cultivate the Xuanxu art, and must be high-level resources, because his physical foundation is too high. The resources that are of great use to others may not be useful to him. There are many true monarchs in the Zhuxian lineage. Yi Tian went to the Zhuxian temple and took out the resources in his hands one by one, wanting to exchange high-level resources with others. Many resources in Yi Tian's hands are not very helpful to him, but they are very helpful to others. In addition, he exchanges a large amount of resources for a small part of high-level resources, and the actual value is higher, so many true monarchs are willing to cooperate with Yi Tian exchanged. However, there are not many high-level resources in the hands of other true monarchs, and some true monarchs are prepared to reserve them in the future, so naturally they will not trade too much. After a long time, Yi Tian exchanged enough high-level resources to cultivate for 50 million years, and then exchanged a batch of high-level resources from the virtual sky points system, almost emptying the high-level resources. In total, about 140 million years of advanced resources have been put together. These resources seem to be many, but Yi Tian is still not satisfied. This day, true monarch Yanglong came to see Yi Tian. Master, you want 247 to collect a lot of high-level resources, maybe you can go to Dutian Giant City. Tiantian Giant City, where is that? Yi Tian asked curiously. Master, you often retreat, and you don't go out of the territory of the human race. Naturally, you don't know much about the Dutian Giant City. Where is it outside the real country of virtual innocence, and it is not suitable for any real country, but a chaotic area without the jurisdiction of the real country. However, Chaos Trading Firm and Giant Axe City have joined forces to build a majestic giant city in that chaotic area, that is, Dutian Giant City. As a trading city, Chaos Trading Firm manages transactions. Today, many great forces they have settled in the Dutian Giant City, and even the Zhuxian Temple has many true monarchs participating. There, many precious resources can be purchased, and the information are very well informed. Yanglong Zhenjin explained. I see, Yi Tian had already made a decision in his heart, so he took Yanglong Zhenjin to go to Dutian Giant City. There is also a teleportation formation going to Dutian Giant City in Zhuxian Real Kingdom. Otherwise, Yi Tian's Great Realm teleportation is not very good when many real countries are established, and it will take some time to go directly to Dutian Giant City. So, Yi Tian rode the teleportation formation, shuttled directly through the barrier of the real kingdom, and came to the giant city of Dutian. As soon as he entered this CJFI giant city, Yi Tian saw many real kingdoms, anyone on the street was a real monarch, and there were even some powerhouses at the peak of the real monarch. Master, the largest trading house in Dutian Giant City is the Tianxi Pavilion under the Chaos Trading Firm. You can trade treasures to Tianxi Pavilion, and you can also buy treasure resources from Tianxi Pavilion. Yanglong Zhenjin Dao. Soon, Yi Tian and Yanglong Zhenjin came to Tianxi Pavilion. Tianxi Pavilion is very large, and it is not an ordinary building. It is a half-Dao artifact, and it is also a top-notch half-Dao artifact. There are top-notch true monarchs in the house, will be suppressed. However, the true monarch on the list of true monarchs also has to weigh the power of the chaotic firm, and almost no true monarch on the list of true monarchs dares to offend the chaotic firm. Therefore, transactions in Tianxi Pavilion are very safe. The clerk in charge of the transaction in Tianxi Pavilion is a famous true monarch, but he is just an ordinary true monarch, and his strength is not very strong. 2 true monarchs, what do you want to buy? A Zhenjin clerk asked. Sell some resources, take it. Yi Tian asked. Receive. The clerk answered, I am the Daozi of Wanfa of the Zushan Temple, and you are not qualified to let the person in charge of you come here. Yi Tian said domineeringly. Wonderful way. The clerk of the true monarch of Tianxi Pavilion has naturally heard of Yi Tian. This is the direct disciple of Shu Tian Daozu, how could he not know him? Although the true monarchs of the quasi-Dao world are counted in hundreds of millions, he basically knows about some Dao ancestors, true disciples of various sects, and top true monarchs. Wait for a while, Daozi, I'll go to invite the pavilion master. The clerk hurriedly said. After a while, the pavilion master of Tianxi Pavilion came. The pavilion owner of Tianxi Pavilion is a powerful real monarch of the peak of the real monarch, named the real monarch of the wild jade, but it is not the real monarch of the real monarch list, just a good peak of the real monarch. It turned out to be Wanfa Daozi of Zushan Temple. Welcome to Tianxi Pavilion. I don't know what Wanfa Daozi is going to sell. Real monarch wild jade said with a smile. Some resources. Yi Tian took out a world ring, which is a ring made by refining a world. The interior space is large enough to hold a lot of treasures. As soon as the world ring was taken out, Yi Tian revealed the treasure inside and showed it in the eyes of true monarch wild jade. Immediately, the dense collection of treasure resources surprised true monarch wild jade slightly. Although he has seen many treasures as the owner of Tianxi Pavilion, it is true that there are only a few transactions of so many treasures at one time. Wanfa Daozi has a lot of money, so many resources are a huge wealth. These are all for sale. I need a relatively high-level resource, at least a body refining resource suitable for top-notch true monarchs. Yi Tian said. The top real monarchs' advanced body refining resources are of high value. Daozi Wanfa should understand that at the top real monarch level, tempering is too difficult, and there are too few advanced body refining resources, everyone needs it. 1. Wild Jade True Monarch Dao. I understand, I only ask if Tianxi Pavilion has it. If not, then I will leave. Yi Tian asked directly, not wanting to talk nonsense. Yes, of course there is. True Monarch Wild Jade said with a smile. In terms of wealth, the top powers are far inferior to our chaotic trading firms. Moreover, all the true monarchs of our chaotic trading firms are good at finding, and many high-level resources that have just been promoted and born in the quasi-Dao world are basically used by us. The real monarchs of the Chaos Trading Company have been scraped off one by one, and there are also many weak Tianjin and half-step real spirits who have also sold some advanced resources to us. Our Chaos Trading firm naturally has a lot of advanced resources, but the price, it must be higher than Daozi expected. It does not matter if the price is higher. Yi Tian said. Okay, then I will replace all these resources in Daozi's hands with high-level resources. How? Can. Yi Tian agreed. Daozi will need to wait a few months. After all, it will take time to mobilize resources. Zhenjin Wangyu estimated. No problem. Yi Tian nodded and waited in Dutian Giant City. In a flash, several months passed. True Monarch Wild Jade informed Yi Tian that the advanced resources are complete. Not long after, Yi Tian completed the transaction with True Monarch Desolate Jade, and the harvested high-level resources were enough for him to cultivate for 500 million years. Yi Tian originally thought about going back here and retreating for hundreds of millions of years before coming out, but just when he was about to leave, a message spread in the Dutian Giant City. Master, something big has happened. True Monarch Yanglong came back from the outside, came to Yi Tian, and reported. The world of Jeyuan was born, and it appeared in a small real country, and countless major forces in the entire Quandao world were alerted. Chapter 944 The Realm of Jeyuan. The Realm of Jeyuan, are you sure? Yi Tian was also extremely shocked. The Realm of Jeyuan is not an ordinary place. Even in the entire primal chaos, it is an extremely rare treasure. Only one will be born in countless years, and every birth is accompanied by the fall of many true ancestors. The realm of Jeyuan was basically born in the Chaos Continent, never in the universe or the Dao realm, but the realm of Jeyuan was born in the quasi-Dao realm. The realm of Jeyuan is also a kind of world, but it is not an ordinary world, and it is a treasure place for the cultivation of innate origins. In the realm of the world, any plant is an innate source, and can basically be used for cultivation. These innate sources can be used to improve cultivation, temper the body, and improve the soul. It is an all-powerful innate source. The only thing they can't do is that they can't assist in cultivating chaotic supernatural powers, which is also a flaw in cultivating things of innate origin. Strictly speaking, these innate origins can be called top-level cultivation resources. Once you enter the realm of Jeyuan, you can gain a little bit at random, which is a real big gain. Where was the realm of Jeyuan born, the real country? Yi Tian asked. Flower god real country, true monarch Yanglong said truthfully. It turned out to be the real country of the flower god. Yi Tian knew a little about the valley of the flower gods behind this real kingdom. This is a big power with only one Taoist ancestor, and this Taoist ancestor is not very strong, and the time to become a Taoist ancestor is not very long. It belongs to the new Taoist ancestor. Flower God Valley can also be said to be a new power, far less than the old top power. In addition, all Washengu are female disciples, which is also the consistent tradition of Washengu. If the realm of Jeyuan was born in the top forces such as the Tower of the God of War, the Immortal Gate, the Chaos Firm, and the Giant Axe City, even if the realm of Jeyuan could not be completely occupied, it would be enough to keep most of the interests. But the true kingdom of Flower God is too weak. Now, I'm afraid it won't be able to protect any interests at all. Yi Tian secretly said. Weakness is like this, even if there is an amazing opportunity in the real world, there is no way to keep it. How sad. And the real country of the flower god is too large and has a large number of people. It is impossible to completely conceal the news, so the news was leaked, causing countless true monarchs to pour into the real country of the flower god. Although Washengu can mobilize the power of Washenzhen to suppress other true monarchs, Washengu does not dare to do so, otherwise the top powers will invade Washengu. Even if Washengu can mobilize the power of Washengu must be defeated. From the mouth of true monarch Yanglong, Yi Tian learned that the realm of Jeyuan is still in the process of being conceived, and it has not been fully conceived, and it will take some time, otherwise, countless real monarchs must all pour into the realm of Jeyuan. Yanglong, are you going to the realm of Jeyuan? Yi Tian asked. Master, this subordinate will not go. True monarch Yanglong struggled for a while, but immediately shook his head and gave up his plan to enter the realm of Jeyuan. He is very aware of his own strength. Although he is very powerful compared to ordinary true monarchs, he is too weak compared to those top true monarchs. The most terrifying top true monarchs can crush him countless times with just one finger. If he goes to the realm of Jeyuan, I am afraid that the possibility of falling is 99%. Although there are many innate origins in the realm of Jeyuan, they are of great value, and you can get a great harvest if you just go there, but if you can't survive, no amount of gain will be in vain. Therefore, he chose not to go to the realm of Jeyuan. That's fine, when the realm of Jeyuan is born, and after other true monarchs are over, you can choose to enter it. At that time, there may not be many things of innate origin, but it is better to be safe, and there will not be many fights. Yi Tian said, Yes, Master. Zhenjin Yanglong nodded, and then asked again, Master, are you going to the realm of Jeyuan? Go, Yi Tian said. I currently need a lot of resources, the world of Jeyuan can give me a lot of gains, so I will naturally go. However, you don't have to worry about my safety, my strength may not be as good as those of the top true monarchs, but the life-saving ability is not bad. True monarch Yanglong also nodded. He knew how terrifying his master's ability to save his life was. True monarch Yanglong, go and find out how long it will take for the realm of Jeyuan to be born, I need to retreat for a period of time. Yi Tian said. Subordinate to do it now. True monarch Yanglong left. After true monarch Yanglong left, Yi Tian returned to his territory and took out those high-level resources to start retreating. After cultivating with advanced resources, Yi Tian's cultivation speed was much faster. Originally, if he used ordinary resources to cultivate the second level of the True Spirit chapter of Xuanshuju, it would take hundreds of millions of years to cultivate to the second level, but if he cultivated with advanced resources, it would only take millions of years at most. Ask for flowers. Just like that, the years passed. Not long after true monarch Yanglong, there was also a message that informed Yi Tian about the time when the realm of Jeyuan was conceived. 6 million years later. This is an approximate time calculated by many true monarchs. For Zhenjin, a mere 6 million years is nothing. As a result, outside Washenzhen, giant cities were established, and those true monarchs were here to retreat and practice, waiting for the complete birth of the realm of Jeyuan. In this regard, Washengu has nothing to do, and can only let these true monarchs do this. In the blink of an eye, 5 million years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian had completely completed the second level of the True Spirit chapter of Xuanshuju, his physical body had doubled again, and his strength had skyrocketed again. There is still 1 million time, No matter how much you practice Xuanshu art, there is no way to practice the third level of Xuanshu art true spirit chapter. Let's practice other things. Yi Tian thought for a while, and finally decided to upgrade the prototype of the avenue first. After all, the growth of the Dao prototype in battle is also very important, and this is also the fastest way to improve. In this way, under Yi Tian's full-strength cultivation and improvement, Yi Tian's avenue prototype spanned to 90,000 meters long and 30,000 meters wide. Such a powerful Dao prototype greatly helped Yi Tian's strength increase. This day, the realm of Jieyuan is about to be born, and a famous real monarch has once again poured into the real flower god country. Yi Tian also entered the true kingdom of flower god, but he followed the true monarchs of the Hall of Void Heaven. Little junior brother, you have not entered the true monarch, and you may be in danger when you enter the realm of Jieyuan. Zhenjin Longhai reminded through voice transmission. Senior brother Longhai, my strength may not be enough, but my life-saving ability is very strong. Yi Tian said with a smile. Seeing this, Zhenjin Longhai didn't say anything anymore, but when he thought of the master's advice, he said, this is a special sound transmission, it can be positioned, and it can be used even in the realm of Jieyuan. If you are really in danger, call me, I will rescue you as soon as possible. Thank you senior brother Longhai. Yi Tian accepted it. Under normal circumstances, this sound transmission is useless, but if you really encounter a situation where you can't compete, then this sound transmission is the last hope. Chapter 945 Enter, Yubao. Countless true monarchs gathered outside the realm of Jieyuan, all staring at the realm of Jieyuan. From the outside, the realm of Jieyuan is similar to the general world, but it is relatively large, but after careful inspection, you can perceive the breadth of countless innate origins contained within the realm of Jieyuan. It is from this point that it can be judged that this world is the realm of the world. The true monarchs who came this time are not all the true monarchs in the quasi-Dao world, only about 30% of them have come. After all, most of the true monarchs cherish their lives. In the case of almost unlimited lifespan, naturally he would not venture into the realm of Jieyuan. After all, if he first entered the realm of Jieyuan, there would be frequent fights. If the strength was not enough, the weak real monarch would die if he entered. And in the quasi-Dao world, the true monarchs who really occupy most of the numbers are those slightly weaker true monarchs. These true monarchs have a full understanding of their own strength and will not rush to death. And the cultivation base like Yi Tian is still in the early stage of the true spirit realm, and there are very few true monarchs who dare to enter the realm of the realm not long after stepping into the real spirit realm. 247. Yi Tian glanced over, and most of the true monarchs were at the late stage of the true spirit realm and above, and more than 70% of them were at the peak of the true spirit realm. And his cultivation in the early stage of the true spirit realm is really dazzling here, attracting the attention of many people, even some hostile eyes. As a Taoist ancestor of the Zushan lineage, and with great potential, if other major forces have the opportunity, they will naturally want to kill him. I don't know if the realm of Jieyuan can be used as a world where the great realm moves and travels. Yi Tian guessed in his heart. If it is possible, then he can easily leave the realm of Jieyuan, and he can easily enter the realm of Jieyuan. However, he thinks it is unlikely. Because the realm of Jieyuan is not an ordinary world, his great realm movement can only shuttle in the ordinary world, which is also one of the limitations of great realm movement, otherwise, great realm movement is too scary. Another few months passed. On this day, the realm of Jieyuan was finally conceived, and the world barrier was completely formed. You can go in. A famous true monarch shuttles in from the world barriers in the world of Jieyuan, and everyone's shuttle is in a different position, so the position that appears in the world of Jieyuan is naturally different. Often the difference between the entry position is a few millimeters, and the difference in the realm may be trillions of kilometers. Yi Tian also shuttled in instantly from a position and came to a certain mountain range in the realm of Jieyuan. As soon as he came in, Yi Tian tried to use the great realm to move away, but found that he couldn't shuttle away. Obviously, the great realm movement has failed. Yi Tian no longer pays attention to the movement of the great realm, but focuses on finding the innate source. A lot of innate origins. Yi Tian's consciousness was swept away, and he was shocked. This mountain range does not seem to be large, but there is at least one innate source on each mountain peak, and they are all top innate sources. Receive, receive, receive. Yi Tian collected 10 items of innate origin at the fastest speed, but when he wanted to continue collecting the items of innate origin, he trembled and felt a terrible crisis. Walk. Yi Tian did not hesitate to use the time-space teleportation technique to travel away. At this time, a figure appeared in this mountain range. It was a man wearing a long blue robe. A pair of pupils seemed to contain nothing in the world. If someone who knows him sees this person, he will know his origin. True monarch Wuan, Yi Wuan. True monarch Wuan is very strong and very close to the true monarch list, because the last place on the true monarch list is not much stronger than true monarch Wuan. If true monarch Wuan makes a little progress, he can definitely enter the true monarch list. Of course, at his level, every bit of progress is extremely difficult. True monarch Wuan came here and sensed Yi Tian's existence. Without saying a word, he directly pointed and killed. Even though Yi Tian's time-space transfer technique left and moved billions of miles away in an instant, he was still hit by a wisp of fingers from true monarch Wuan. Far away, Yi Tian drilled out from the void, spitting out blood, and a big hole appeared in his chest. This was because he was pierced by true monarch Wuan. He didn't hesitate and continued to flee. It seems that true monarch Wuan did not pursue him, so Yi Tian escaped easily. In a small canyon with no innate origin, Yi Tian felt that it was relatively safe and would not attract attention, so he rested here. That is the Wuan Zhenjin, who is infinitely close to the true monarch ranking. His strength is really strong. I thought I was not far from the true monarch ranking. It seems that I think too much. Yi Tian muttered. Of course, although true monarch Wuan's finger hurt him, but his injury was under the real body of the original supernatural power, and he quickly recovered. True monarch Wuan probably didn't attack with all his strength, but even if he did his best, it wouldn't be easy if he wanted to kill me. But such an ancient true monarch has too many methods, and maybe he has a way to threaten me. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. There are only 3,000 true monarchs on the true monarch list. Not all of them will come this time, and the total number of people around or above Wuan true monarch is estimated to be 5,000 or 6,000. The real monarch who entered can use 100 million as a unit, so many real monarchs have entered the realm of the source. The possibility of him encountering a powerful real monarch is not high, and it was just pure bad luck. In the days that followed, Yi Tian was careful and careful. The world of Jieyuan is such a powerful world. The sky and the earth are very suppressed, and the whole world is filled with a powerful source of power. Even the consciousness of the true monarchs will be affected, and it is difficult to explore too large an area. Otherwise, the fight in the realm of Jieyuan will be even more terrifying. Time passed by day, and every day a large number of kings fell and harvested. However, there are very few true monarchs who are really willing to leave the realm of Jieyuan, and they can hardly be seen. After all, you can easily find a lot of innate origins, which is simply picking up money. Under such circumstances, how could those true monarchs be willing to leave? This day, Yi Tian came to a huge lake. What made him ecstatic was that there were lotus flowers on the lake. These lotus flowers were golden red and exuded a strong innate source breath. They were all innate sources. 108 things of innate origin, and all of them are top-level things of innate origin. Great harvest. Yi Tian was very excited. In fact, not all of the innate origins in the realm of Jieyuan are top-level innate origins, and most of them are high-level innate origins. After all, the realm of Jieyuan has just been born, and many innate origins have only been born soon. It takes a lot of time. It takes a long time to grow into a top innate source. One top-level innate source item is worth at least 30 high-level innate source items, and it is conceivable how precious the value of so many top-level innate source items is. Immediately, Yi Tian was about to go forward to pick it. But at this moment, 3 breaths came. Ha ha ha, 108 items of top-level innate origin. It is right for our 3-rat true monarch to gain a great deal. Along with wild laughter, 3 evil-looking men appeared in Yi Tian's perception. 3-rat true monarch. Yi Tian has never heard of this title, plus the opponent's breath is not 5.8, which is very strong, and he is relieved. If there is a famous true monarch list true monarch, or a powerful true monarch similar to Wuan true monarch, he will definitely turn around and leave without saying a word. But for a true monarch of the level of the 3-rat true monarch, he is not afraid at all. A rookie in the early stage of the real spirit realm dared to enter the realm of Jieyuan, and he was simply courting death and killing him. Blood Rat, one of the 3-rat true monarchs, said coldly. He didn't recognize Yi Tian, which was quite normal. There are hundreds of millions of true monarchs in the quasi-Dao world. If you don't understand it deliberately, who knows Yi Tian? You may have heard of it, but it's hard to recognize it if you haven't seen it. Swish. The 3 true monarchs attacked Yi Tian, but they seemed to be concerned about 108 things of innate origin. They did not dare to use a large-scale ultimate move, for fear of damaging these things of innate origin. Seeing that these three people wanted to kill him, Yi Tian naturally would not keep his hands. Destroy God. Yi Tian used this divine and soul-like source supernatural power to strike with all his strength, covering three true monarchs at the same time. Chapter 946 Innate Origin Life. Not good. True Monarch 3 Rat and other three people's faces changed greatly, and they all sensed Yi Tian's destruction of the gods. But the soul attack is strange and unpredictable, and it is difficult to avoid. Block. The three cast the soul defense secret technique, trying to block Yi Tian's attack. But Yi Tian's annihilation is too terrifying, and Yi Tian's divine soul is much stronger than them. From the perspective of cultivation, they are all at the pinnacle level of the true spirit realm, but the strength of their souls is not as good as Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian's foundation is too solid, even if the cultivation is not high, the strength of his soul is not comparable to them. Coupled with the power of the soul-type source supernatural power, the general true monarch can't stop it at all. Puff puff. Among the three rat true monarchs, the wind rat true monarch and the golden rat true monarch both had pale faces, their souls were cracked, and their breath dropped greatly. This was because their souls were severely injured. True monarch blood rat is even worse, his soul is the weakest, and his soul defense secret technique is the worst, so he was unable to block Yi Tian's annihilation, his soul was directly annihilated by a single blow, and his body turned into a corpse, floating in the void. Old third. True Monarch Wind Rat and True Monarch Golden Rat shouted sadly. 29 The three of them are not real brothers, but a chaotic life race of rodents in chaos. They joined hands in chaos and became famous sworn brothers. The relationship between them is even better than that of brothers. But now, True Monarch Blood Rat is dead. I must kill you. True Monarch Wind Rat and True Monarch Golden Rat used forbidden techniques one after another, burning nearly half of their bodies and souls, and the aura of the whole person continued to return to their peak state, which was even stronger than their peak state. Kill. The Wind Rat True Monarch and the Golden Rat True Monarch charged Yi Tian with two half-Taoist spears. The power of the half-Tao tool is terrifying, far exceeding the Chaos Treasure. Moreover, the half-Tao device in their hands is not an ordinary half-Tao device, it should be a medium half-Tao device. Yi Tian also has a half-Tao weapon in his hand, but it is not a medium-level half-Tao weapon, just a low-level half-Tao weapon. The true monarchs basically have low-level half-Tao weapons in their hands, and it is rare to have medium-level half-Tao weapons. Yi Tian also wanted to buy a medium half-Tao weapon, but it was very difficult to buy. Occasionally, he encountered a few medium-level half-Tao weapons for sale, and they were not knives, so they didn't help him much. The real body of the Blood River. Blood River Inextinguishable Technique. Void Heaven Dao Body. Yi Tian added buffs to himself, increasing his defense and recovery ability to an incredible level. At the same time, Yi Tian has used the second source of supernatural powers, Shenwei. Boom. As soon as the divine might came out, a terrifying gravitational impact directly shook the Wind Rat True Monarch and the Golden Rat True Monarch. At the moment when they were blown away, Yi Tian moved in front of them with the time and space teleportation technique, and slashed the past with a knife. The power of the Endless Avenue is blessed on the blade, and the eternal fire covers this area. Many means were used in unison, so that True Monarch Wind Rat and True Monarch Golden Rat could not react at all. In an instant, the True Monarch of the Wind Rat was killed, and the True Monarch of the Golden Rat was seriously injured and dying. Impossible, you are in the early stage of the real spirit realm, how can you have such a terrifying combat power? True Monarch Golden Mouse roared in confusion. Because you are too weak. Yi Tian replied. Immediately, he completely annihilated the last vitality of True Monarch Golden Mouse. After beheading the True Monarch 3 Rat, Yi Tian collected their inheritance, and then slowly collected those 108 top-level innate origins. Soon, these lotus-like innate origins fell into Yi Tian's body microcosm one after another. Taking the opportunity, Yi Tian checked the treasures of True Monarch 3 Rat by the way, but was surprised to find that True Monarch 3 Rat had a very rich harvest. He had about 1,000 pieces of innate origin on his body, but most of them were high-level innate origin objects. But even so, the value of these innate origins is unimaginable. Murdering is indeed one of the quickest shortcuts to get rich, and it's no wonder that other true monarchs are fighting so frantically. After all, killing a true monarch can be called a huge fortune. Yi Tian muttered, but the murderer keeps killing them, and no one knows whether they will become the prey of others. Yi Tian will not take the initiative to hunt others, unless others come to hunt him, he will act as a hunter. Go somewhere else. Yi Tian's figure gradually faded and disappeared. In the realm of Jeyuan, around a peak similar to the Five Fingers Mountain, there are many true monarchs, the number of which has reached as many as 1 million, and on this land, there are countless traces of battles and the corpses of many true monarchs. If you count it carefully, there are at least more than 10,000 true monarchs who have fallen here. These true monarchs are basically the true monarchs in the late stage of the true spirit realm or even the peak, but they are not ordinary true monarchs. What a fierce battle situation it is when so many true monarchs have fallen all at once. And many true monarchs above the sky are also quite embarrassed, and their bodies are more or less injured. Obviously, they have also experienced a fight just now. It's just that now they have stopped fighting one after another, and have not continued to fight. The reason for the truce was very simple, and several big brothers came. At this time, the eyes of many true monarchs were more or less on the 4 of them. These 4 are all true monarchs on the list of true monarchs, and they are all at the top. The 32nd place on the true monarch list, the Tower of the God of War, the true monarch of Shadow Zero. The 64th place on the true monarch list, Immortal Gate, true monarch. The 72nd place on the true monarch list, Chaos Firm, Luohai true monarch. The 102nd place on the list of true monarchs, Zushan Temple, the true monarch of the morning light. Although the ranking of these 4 true monarchs is somewhat different, the difference in real combat power is not very big. In addition, everyone has trump cards, and it is not necessary to be strong if they are ranked high. The ranking on the true sovereign ranking only shows that in the absence of treasures and cards, the rankings are based on their own attack power, but in fact there are many factors in combat power. If you completely believe in the ranking of the true monarch because at 247, you are really asking for a dead end. Perhaps some of the true monarchs at the bottom of the true monarch list have the means to kill the top true monarchs with one blow. With these 4 true monarchs as the head and the other true monarchs as their supplements, the battle was temporarily stopped, just because this Wuji mountain was about to give birth to an innate source. This innate source thing is too precious, which is why these true monarchs are killed. I saw that the 5 fingers of Wuji mountain were closing together. In the center of Wuji mountain was a stone that resembled a human shape, and the stone exuded an astonishing source breath, and an innate source thing was bred inside. If Yi Tian was here, he might feel that this stone was somewhat similar to the great sage Monkey King in earth myths and legends. In fact, there is indeed a life inside this stone, a life of innate origin. Under normal circumstances, things of innate origin have no life, but when things of innate origin have the power of life, they surpass the top innate origin things and become innate origin life, also known as super innate origin things, which are far more valuable. Beyond the top innate origin. Moreover, the super innate source thing has a huge use, that is, it can help the true monarchs gather the power of the prototype of the avenue, and even help them break the shackles of 99,999 meters and successfully cultivate an avenue. Owning a super innate source is equivalent to having a ticket to the true ancestor. That's why these true monarchs are so crazy. Chapter 947 Battle at Wuji Mountain. Other true monarchs are afraid of the power of the 4 true monarchs, and dare not do it again, but the 4 true monarchs are because the innate source life has not been completely conceived, and they have not done anything, otherwise they're robbed of the innate source. A thing cannot become an innate source life, it can only be regarded as a top-level innate source thing. The top-level innate source items were indeed very precious in the past, but this time they entered the realm of the realm and obtained too many top-level innate source items, so they didn't care about one more or one less. Their goal is only one, innate source life. But there is only one innate source life, so how to distribute so many true monarchs is indeed a problem. However, this Wuji mountain is rich in resources, but there are many things of innate origin, so other true monarchs can snatch other things of innate origin. For this reason, they did not leave this place of right and wrong, but chose to stay and wait. It doesn't take long for the innate source life to be conceived, otherwise these true monarchs would not be patient enough to wait, and would have left here long ago to find other innate source things. After all, there are too many innate origins in the world of Jeyuan, and you can gain a lot by just strolling around. If you waste a little time, you will waste a lot of innate origins. Time passed day by day, and in the blink of an eye it was a month. This day, the innate source life bred inside the stone in the center of Wuji mountain has been completely formed. Boom, the stone shattered, and a human-shaped innate source life was born. Although it is a humanoid, it has no pores, hair, and no specific features. The whole person is like an energy human body. At this time, a true monarch who is proficient in the space avenue, used a star-shifting supernatural power, and with the help of a space treasure at the half-path level, he came to the innate source life in an instant, and wanted to capture this innate source life in one fell swoop. Its true monarch starry sky. Someone called. The strength of the starry sky true monarch is not as good as that of the true monarch list, but in today's quasi-Dao world, it can definitely rank among the top tens of thousands, which is already an extremely terrifying combat power. Court Death. A true monarch morning light was furious. A ray of morning light crossed time and space, and instantly settled the starry sky. At this time, true monarch starry sky was imprisoned, and his body gradually cracked, and his pupils were full of fear. He was in fear of the strength of Zhengguang Zhenjin, and just a casual blow completely annihilated his vitality. He has far overestimated his own strength and underestimated the combat power of the true monarchs at the top of the true monarch list, otherwise he would never take the risk to snatch the innate source life. This is not to blame for his misjudgment, because he used to be in the chaos, and he was almost invincible in an area. Although he had heard of the combat power of those invincible true monarchs, he had never really fought. Coupled with his confidence in his spatial ability, he made the wrong judgment. One mistake completely ruined his life. Bang! The true monarch of the starry sky shattered into pieces and fell on the ground, and a powerful top true monarch fell to his death. With the fall of the starry sky true monarch, the other true monarchs stopped in their tracks, daring not to fight the idea of innate origin life again. Boom! The four true monarchs fought against each other, and the terrifying impact swept across this area. Some of the true monarchs did not have time to leave and were directly annihilated. This scene frightened the other true monarchs to leave, but more than 10,000 true monarchs still fell. These 10,000 true monarchs did not die in battle, but were affected and died, which is really unfortunate. After fighting for half an hour, Zhengguang Zhenjin was the first to go out and left here with a seriously injured body, giving up his innate source life. This is also a helpless move, otherwise Zhengguang Zhenjin will fall here. Another half an hour passed, and the true monarch of the immortal sect fled with serious injuries, leaving only the Luohai true monarch of the Chaos Trading Company and the Shadow Zero true monarch of the God of War Tower. From the ranking point of view, true monarch Yingling is more powerful, but true monarch Luohai is too rich. He has a half-Dao weapon, and has a medium defense half-Dao weapon and a high-level defense half-Dao weapon. Luohai is in his hand. True ring weapons are also superior halfway weapons. With the addition of many half-Dao weapons, coupled with the invincible defense, true monarch Luohai did not suffer any injuries at all, but true monarch Yingling gradually became more and more injured. In the end, true monarch Luohai won the victory and took away the innate source life. Shortly after, one after another terrifying figure came here, among them, Longhai Zhenjin of Zushan Temple, and even the top 10 Zhenjin. But after they arrived, when they saw Wuji Mountain, which was almost destroyed, they sighed. It's too late, the innate source life has been snatched away. Many true monarchs knew that Luohai true monarch had robbed the innate source life, and they all wanted to besiege Luohai true monarch. But true monarch Luohai was also very courageous. He gave up other things of innate origin, directly broke the world barrier of the realm of Jieyuan, left the realm of Jieyuan, and returned to the headquarters of the chaos firm at the fastest speed. In this way, true monarch falling into the sea is truly safe. It is foreseeable that in the near future, true monarch Luohai will definitely be able to use the innate source life to break through the shackles of the rudimentary form of the Dao, and cultivate a Dao to a perfect level of 100,000 meters. Such a true monarch is enough to be called a half-step true ancestor. A life with innate origin was born. Yi Tian was also surprised that the news was spread by the true monarch Chengguang in the Zushan Temple. Now most of the true monarchs in the Zushan Temple have received the news. As a Taoist ancestor of the Zushan lineage, he naturally got the news. It's a pity that the Hall of Void Heaven did not win the innate source life. What a pity, Yi Tian sighed. He also wants to get the innate source life. This kind of super innate source thing is also very helpful to him, although with his endless avenue, a super innate source object may not be able to help him break the shackles, but at least there is a huge help. Wu Jishan, it is estimated that there are not many people now, go and take a look. Yi Tian changed direction and flew towards Wuji Mountain. After a long time, Yi Tian came to Wuji Mountain. At this time, there is no Wuji Mountain here. The entire mountain peak and the nearby mountains, Haojiao, have all been leveled, and the land in this area has also been cut off with tens of thousands of meters of soil layers, which are all caused by fighting, as a result of. Yi Tian felt the fighting atmosphere around him, as well as the traces left by the battle of the four true monarchs. He deeply felt the tragic situation at that time and the strength of the true monarchs. Just the breath left over gave him a trace. threat, if faced with him, he may not even have the ability to escape. Perhaps out of instinct, Yi Tian habitually used his copy talent to cover the area near Wuji Mountain, even including the underground area. In the realm of Jieyuan, the scope of copying talent is even wider than the scope of spiritual detection, and in terms of the ability to detect life, there is no ability that can compare to copying talent, even if someone can cultivate the hidden type. There is no way to hide the original magical powers from copying talent. This investigation, Yi Tian's eyes widened. He stared at the deep underground area under the original Wuji Mountain, and said in shock, "That's Chapter 948 6 and 8 Origin Beings, a real big gain." Deep underground in the Wujishan area, there is life. It is not surprising that there is life, but this life is not an ordinary life. There is no talent, but under the investigation of copy talent, the origin of this life cannot be concealed from Yi Tian. Innate origin life. Yi Tian took a deep breath. In the depths of the ground, there is an innate source life, and there are more than one. He sensed it carefully, and there were a total of 6 innate origin beings there. Before, an innate source life was born here in Wuji Mountain, which attracted a large number of true monarchs to fight. I do not know how many true monarchs fell, and even the true monarchs at the top of the true monarch list were seriously injured and fled. From this, it can be seen that the preciousness of the innate source life is enough to drive any true monarch crazy. 6 innate origin beings, if used reasonably, are enough to give birth to 6 true ancestors. Some ordinary great forces in the chaos have only one true ancestor. 1. Yi Tian is very excited. If he gets 6 innate origin life, even if he doesn't need it, he can give it to his relatives and cultivate them into true ancestors. For example, his wife and sister, their understanding is not high, even if she is given the understanding talent 247, but the basic talent is difficult to improve, so the hope of becoming the true ancestor in the future is really infinitely close to zero. Yi Tian has been thinking about how to help his wife and sister to break through the true ancestor. The innate source life is the hope. However, Yi Tian did not immediately arrest the 6 innate source beings, because he felt that there were still true monarchs in the surrounding area. They didn't know that there were innate source beings here, and they were just looking for other innate source things. If they are arrested now, if there is a little movement, a bunch of true monarchs will definitely be killed, and even the true monarchs at the top of the true monarch list. Yi Tian thought to himself. The gap between his current strength and the true monarchs at the top of the true monarch list is too great, and even the original supernatural powers such as the Blood River Avatar cannot save his life, and he will definitely be killed. Therefore, Yi Tian endured and left this area and went to other places to find the innate source. Time passed slowly. With the continuous development of the realm of the world, the innate origins gradually became rare, and the top innate origins became rare things, and only high-level innate origins could be found occasionally. Under such circumstances, some powerful true monarchs have left, and only some weaker true monarchs are still here to look for. As a result, some outside true monarchs poured in again. They used to be afraid of those true monarch list true monarchs and powerful top true monarchs, but now the realm of Jieyuan is a little safer, and they naturally dare to come in. However, in the realm of Jieyuan, there are still too many true monarchs, tens of millions. Even Yi Tian encountered danger many times, and once was surrounded by dozens of powerful true monarchs, almost unable to escape. But Yi Tian's luck was still good, and in the end, all dangers were saved, and the harvest was full. This day, Yi Tian came to the Wujishan area again, where there are no true monarchs, because all the innate origins here have been collected, and other true monarchs will naturally not come here. Yi Tian used the copying talent to investigate again and again, and after confirming that there was no true monarch nearby, he used the divine power to go to the depths of Wuji Mountain. Not long after, Yi Tian approached the innate source creature, but found himself in an underground space. After entering the underground space, Yi Tian discovered a lake. This lake contains amazing innate power, and there are 6 humanoid creatures playing like dolls in the lake. These 6 humanoid creatures are innate origin creatures. This space is a world of its own, and it is born with the ability to hide. No wonder the existence of this world cannot be detected by observing from above. Obviously, this is the innate origin space given to the innate origin creatures by the world of the origin, the innate origin life. Hiding here at CJFI, it is difficult to be found. Yi Tian guessed. If he hadn't possessed the talent of copying and could detect the information of any creature, he would never have been able to discover the innate source creature. In addition to the 6 innate origin creatures, Yi Tian also found that there are a lot of weeds living here. These are not weeds, they are all things of innate origin. Although most of them are high-level things of innate origin, there are too many of them. This amount of wealth is amazing. 1. Yi Tian said excitedly. Without further ado, he carried out an arrest operation for the 6 innate origin creatures. Although the 6 innate source creatures are not very intelligent, they also know that Yi Tian is an enemy, and they want to escape immediately, and they seem to be able to mobilize the power of this space to exert a combat power that is not weaker than that of a true monarch. Boom! The space oscillated and passed out layer by layer, but since there was no true monarch nearby, no one noticed the movement here. Destroy God. Yi Tian used his original supernatural power, destroying God on the 6 innate origin beings, which severely damaged their spiritual intelligence with one blow, and immediately launched various attacks on them. But Yi Tian was afraid of destroying these 6 innate origin life forms, so he did not display any powerful attacks, and only focused on suppressing and imprisoning. Soon, these 6 innate source beings were imprisoned layer by Yi Tian, completely locked in the universe within the body, and could no longer escape. Gather the other innate origins one by one. Yi Tian collected quickly. All the innate origins in the entire space were collected by Yi Tian. He roughly counted, and in this space alone, he harvested about 30,000 high-level innate origin objects and 2,000 top-level innate origin objects. And that lake, Yi Tian is not ready to give up this lake. It contains a lot of innate source power, and it must be a treasure. So, Yi Tian forcibly moved this lake into the universe within his body. Perhaps because of the loss of a large number of innate origins and lakes, the rules of this space have begun to crack, and it will be completely ruined in a short time. Gone. Yi Tian left here and returned to the ground. In the days that followed, Yi Tian did not continue to search for the innate source objects. After all, there were not many innate source objects in the world of Jeyuan, and at most a few high-level innate source objects could be found in a month. And a few high-level innate origins, does he care? No, he doesn't care. He has gained too much, and a little gain is not important at all. Therefore, Yi Tian chose to leave the realm of Jeyuan to avoid a big change. Not long after, Yi Tian returned to the kingdom of Void Heaven and returned to his own territory. At this moment, he was really relieved. Chapter 949 The True Monarch List True Monarch. In the realm of Jeyuan, Yi Tian was really worried that a certain true monarch list true monarch would ignore his identity and kill him, then he would be finished. Fortunately, such a thing did not happen, and he also arrived at his territory safely. In the real country of virtual innocence, even other true monarchs did not dare to attack him rashly, and no one should know the news of his innate origin life, so he is very safe. The first time he came back, Yi Tian began to organize his harvest. The many treasures obtained from other true monarchs are not considered other values, and if only the innate origins are counted, Yi Tian sorted it out a little, but found that there are too many innate origins on his body, too many. There are about 260,000 high-level innate origin objects in total. There are about 3,710 top-level innate origin objects in total. Innate origin life, a total of 6. This is all the innate source of things. There is almost no shortage of cultivation resources at the true monarch level. Yi Tian thought. And not only is he not short, he can even train others. In the following days, Yi Tian did not go out to wave, but chose to retreat. Even some true monarchs in the Zushan temple invited him to participate in some meetings, but he was rejected. Yi Tian fully understands that he is too weak now. Even if his status is honorable, others may not necessarily respect you, and there are definitely not a few people in Zushan's lineage who are hostile to him. After all, some people's thoughts are just jealousy, thinking how can a native He become a direct disciple of Zushan Daozu. They won't recognize Yi Tian's evildoer and talent, even if others say it, they don't believe it, their minds are full of jealousy and resentment. In the case of no strength, participating in too many things, maybe one day he will be betrayed by his own people of Zushan's lineage. Therefore, Yi Tian does not care about many things in the outside world, and concentrates on seclusion and cultivation. In the days that followed, Yi Tian spent a lot of resources and high-level innate origins, constantly cultivating the third level of the True Spirit chapter of Xuanxuju, and with the help of many advanced resources, Yi Tian successfully trained in only 3 million years. It became the third layer of the True Spirit chapter of Xuanxuju, and the strength skyrocketed. At the same time, Yi Tian's Dao prototype is also constantly improving, gradually approaching the 100,000 meter perfection level. During this period of time, not only Yi Tian was practicing in seclusion, but many true monarchs were also practicing in seclusion, and it seemed that there were many less true monarchs in the entire quasi-Dao world all of a sudden. It can be said that the true monarchs who have made great achievements in the realm of the world are basically using this time to improve their strength. Soon after, a message came. The true monarch Luohai of Chaos Trading Company broke the shackles by using the innate source life, and his own Tao cultivation reached a perfect level of 100,000 meters, and in one fell swoop, he entered the realm of the half-step true ancestor. 99,999 meters and 100,000 meters seem to be only 1 meter apart, but the gap between them is like a world of difference. A difference of 1 meter is enough to increase the strength of true monarch Luohai no less than tenfold. Half-step true ancestor is almost a true ancestor seed, and he will definitely become a true ancestor in the future. It only takes a lot of time to complete the fusion of Tao and Divine Soul. Once the fusion is successful, it will be true ancestor. This step is similar to the half-step true spirit, except that the half-step true ancestor level takes longer and consumes more resources. But chaos firms are not short of resources, and since true monarch Luohai has harvested a lot of innate origins, naturally it will not be for the resource category. As long as true monarch Luohai is given time, he will definitely become the true ancestor. What shocked many people was that not only the true monarch Luohai entered the half-step true ancestor level, but also several true monarchs also entered the half-step true ancestor level, and one of them was not a true monarch. Sir. Obviously, the person who got the innate source life is not only the Luohai Zhenjin, but many people, but the news of those people getting the innate source life has not spread. However, even if those non-true monarchs become half-step true ancestors, their strength is not necessarily stronger than that of true monarchs. The true monarchs on the list of true monarchs basically have a record of beheading or slaying the true ancestors. The general true monarchs, let alone promoted to the half-step true ancestor level, even if they become the true ancestors, they cannot match the powerful true monarchs. Sir. Human territory. Yi Tian also got the news about many people being promoted to half-step true ancestor, and couldn't help but mutter, "It seems that I am not the only one with good luck, but it is also true that there are definitely more than those innate origins in the world of Jeyuan. It is not surprising that other people can obtain the innate source life." He did not pay too much attention to this matter, but continued to retreat and practice. In the blink of an eye, it is 60 million years. Ask for flowers. For such a long time, Yi Tian spent tens of thousands of high-level innate source things, and finally practiced the chapter of Xuanshuju to the 6th level, and the strength of the whole person skyrocketed many times. Now he can easily suppress the original self, and even killing the original self is not a problem. The true spirit chapter of Xuanshuju has reached the 6th level, and Yi Tian's cultivation base has naturally risen to the peak level of the middle stage of the true spirit realm, and his soul and power are far from comparable to the original. In addition, Yi Tian's Tao prototype has also become longer, more than 95,000 meters. The closer it is to the length of 100,000 meters, the more difficult it is for the prototype of the avenue to grow. In addition, Yi Tian's prototype of the avenue far exceeds that of others, and it becomes even more difficult to grow. What surprised Yi Tian the most was that his blood river avatar, the source supernatural power, had reached the realm of great achievement. The source magical power is created by oneself, so it is not difficult to improve, but because the level of the source magical power is too high, it is also very difficult to upgrade to the Dacheng realm. Yi Tian's comprehension is too high, and he has a super god level super comprehension talent, which is why he can cultivate him to the Dacheng realm in such a short time. The blood river real body of the Dacheng realm not only enhanced Yi Tian's life-saving ability many times, but also the power of the physical body that he exerted was much stronger, and his strength was naturally stronger. According to Yi Tian's estimation, with his current defense and recovery ability, even if he stood and let the original Wuan true monarch attack, he wouldn't even think about killing him. In terms of strength, he has surpassed true monarch Wuan. Moreover, as his Xuanshu art and true spirit chapter reached the 6th level, his combat power should have reached the level of the true monarch on the true monarch list. As for whether it is, it will be known soon, and there is no need for him to verify it. Shortly after, true monarch Yanglong sent a message, and some true monarchs of Zushan Temple also sent messages. Yi Tian was the first to get the message from true monarch Yanglong. "Master, you are ranked 988th on the true monarch list." The voice of true monarch Yanglong was filled with endless shock and joy. After all, the stronger Yi Tian was, the more profitable his servant would be. Other messages from the true monarch of the Zushan Temple were also about his promotion to the true monarch list, and they all came to congratulate him on becoming a true monarch. But it is very clear that becoming a true viewer may have caused an uproar in the quasi-Dao world. Chapter 950 The Breath of the Realm. Impossible, how can Daozi Wanfa become a true monarch on the list of true monarchs? The crazy true monarch of Giant Axe City learned that Etienne had become the true monarch of the true monarch list, showing an incredible look, completely disbelieving. Back then, he was the first person in this universe to become a true monarch. How majestic he was at that time. But now, although he has become a true monarch in the late stage of the true spirit realm, his strength is very average. In the quasi-Dao realm, countless true monarchs are stronger than him. And the true monarch list is a difficult existence for him to look up to, and all of those true monarchs have a record of tying or killing weaker true ancestors. And what about Daozi Wanfa? Before Etienne was trapped in the heavenly sovereign level for hundreds of millions of years, many heavenly sovereigns surpassed him one by one. He also looked down on Etienne, feeling that Etienne's potential was exhausted, and he had no advantage compared with other Taoist ancestors, and was completely unworthy of being a leader. Taoist ancestors. 247, but now, Etienne has become the true monarch of the true monarch list, and he does not know how many times stronger than him. This huge gap made it difficult for him to accept, and even a little jealous. Hall of Fake Heaven, True Monarch Pengyu, True Monarch Swallowing Moon and others were more excited to know that Etienne became the true monarch of the true monarch list. After all, they had a good relationship with Etienne. Etienne became the true monarch of the true monarch list, and it was only beneficial to them, without any harm. But they were still amazed at Etienne's growth rate. It was simply too fast. At the beginning, they really thought that Etienne was affected by the curse and was surpassed one by other people, and they might be overwhelmed. This kind of genius can no longer be described in words, it is too heaven-defying. Longhai Zhenjin's territory. At this time, Zhenjin Longhai also knew that Etienne became a real monarch on the true monarch list, and was immediately surprised. Although Etienne had just entered the true monarch ranking, his strength was much worse than his, but Etienne entered the true monarch ranking in such a short period of time, which really surprised him. Master said that this little junior brother is very talented. Above me, I didn't believe it before, but now it seems that this little junior brother is really not easy. Longhai Zhenjin Dao. However, in his eyes, this little junior brother is just not simple, not yet to the level of shocking him. The cultivation speed is nothing, and the growth speed is nothing, unless Etienne can surpass him, surpass other true monarchs, and become the number one on the true monarch list. That is the real shock, otherwise it will not be very shocking. As a Taoist ancestor, he has seen too many outstanding geniuses, and the encounters of some geniuses even make him and many true ancestors envious. For example, some geniuses took advantage of great opportunities, and in just tens of thousands of years, they leapt over the heavenly monarch and the true monarch in one fell swoop, and became the true ancestor directly, and they were not the ordinary true ancestor, but the true ancestor with an extremely solid foundation. There was even a peerless arrogant who became the true ancestor not long after, and he used the ancestral monument to become the Taoist ancestor in one fell swoop. He has seen or heard of too many cases. It is not uncommon for Etienne to improve his strength quickly. In addition, Etienne has also obtained a large number of innate origins this time. This is the case when there is no shortage of resources. The progress isn't all that surprising. True monarch Longhai did not pay too much attention, but continued to comprehend and cultivate. This time, although he did not get the innate source life, he also got many top-level innate source things. These cultivation-type innate source things also have certain benefits for the prototype of the Tao. He wanted to try it out to see if he could break the shackles and become a 100,000-meter avenue. After Etienne became the true monarch of the true monarch list, he went to the Hall of Void Heaven, and this time the eyes of many true monarchs looking at Etienne changed. Before, many true monarchs looked at Etienne with contempt and jealousy, but this time they were respectful and fearful. How powerful are the true monarchs on the list of true monarchs? Although there are tens of millions of true monarchs in Zushan Temple, these true monarchs are basically hopeless to become true monarchs on the list of true monarchs. After all, there are only a few true monarchs on the list of true monarchs. Before Etienne became the true monarch list, there were only 3 true monarch list true monarchs in Zushan Temple. True monarch Longhai was the most powerful true monarch in Zushan Temple, followed by true monarch Chengguang, and the last was true monarch Guangyuan, who was ranked more than 800 on the true monarch list. There are a total of 1,000 places on the true sovereign list, and it is not bad that the Zushan Temple can occupy 3 places. There are so many great forces in the quasi-Dao world, and many of them don't even have a single true monarch. Of course, the Zushan Temple is not the strongest, such as the Chaos Firm, Giant Axe City and other big forces are stronger than the Zushan Temple. There are many, and there will naturally be more true monarchs occupying the true monarch list. But now, Yi Tian has stepped into the ranks of the true monarchs on the true monarch list, and all of a sudden, the Zushan Temple has 4 true monarchs on the true monarch list, and the overall strength is much stronger. More importantly, many true monarchs have been practicing for countless years, and it is almost difficult for them to improve, but Yi Tian is a new true monarch, and it has not been long since he became a true monarch, and there are still many others. Room for improvement. Anyone can see that Yi Tian's limit is far from the end of the true monarch list, but the front. This time, Yi Tian went out to relax, and secondly, to understand the situation of the human race. Nowadays, the human race has grown very strong, and there have been a lot of true monarchs. Although they are only weaker true monarchs, they at least look better on the outside. Under the accumulation of Yi Tian's countless resources, Xiao Yu and Yi Yu also stepped into the peak of the middle stage of the true spirit realm, but their cultivation base was stronger, and other aspects were relatively weak. Yi Tian stayed in the human race for a long time, and also instructed the cultivation of the high-level human race, and left some resources, and then entered the retreat again. However, before the retreat was long, something big happened in the Quasi-Dao world. In the chaotic area outside the Quasi-Dao boundary, the avatar of a famous Taoist ancestor hides here, always paying attention to the situation of the Quandao world. For them, it doesn't take much effort to keep an avatar to observe the Quandao world. Usually, these avatars are basically in a deep sleep state, leaving only a trace of mind. Once something major happens in the Quandao world, these avatars will wake up one by one at Su 5.8. Suddenly, the incarnations of Taoist ancestors in the void space opened their eyes one after another, and all looked at the Quasi-Dao world. In their perception, a strange aura appeared in the Quasi-Dao world. The aura of the domain has appeared. What's going on? Zushan Daozu was shocked. Before, these Taoist ancestors searched many times, but they did not find any realm aura in the realm. Although this is the fragment of realm, the spirit of realm has merged with the realm, and it is no longer realm. The spirit of the world represents that the Quasi-Dao world has completely lost the aura of the realm. But now, the aura of the realm has reappeared, and this breath is not the spirit of the realm at all, but the real aura of the realm of the realm. This means that there are things about the realm, relics, and buildings in the Quasi-Dao world. In short, things that are enough to make the Dao ancestors' heart appear. Chapter 951 The Ruins are born. Boom. The consciousness of a Taoist ancestor entered the Quasi-Dao world, and followed the breath of the domain to explore the past. Soon, these Taoist ancestors discovered a small space. There is a building in this small space, which is a domain relic, and the domain aura emanates from this relic. I didn't expect that there are real estate ruins here. Why didn't I find it before? A Taoist was curious. This is not surprising. What a mysterious world the domain is. Even if it is only a fragment of the domain, I am afraid it has abilities beyond imagination, and it is not surprising that it is hidden from us, Taoist ancestors. Another Taoist said. These Taoist ancestors did not waste time chatting, but went deep into the ruins to investigate the situation here. Although they did not come with their true bodies, just the coming of consciousness is enough to detect many situations. The ruins here are not so mysterious, and they cannot stop these Taoist ancestors at all. Soon after, these Taoist ancestors basically learned about the situation of the ruins. Unfortunately, this should be the resident of a certain sect in the domain, and it is the resident of a not powerful sect. Even this force does not have a Taoist ancestor, at most the strongest one is a true ancestor. Among the sect ruins, there are some 29. It is still relatively complete, with some treasures, but basically nothing we need, and the inheritance here is of little use to us. 17. Shu Tian Daozu sighed. It's useless to us, but for those true monarchs in the Taoist realm, this place should be regarded as a great treasure, and even for the true ancestors, this relic can bring huge benefits. Another Taoist rode. Then let those little guys fight. The Taoist ancestors no longer paid attention to this relic, but they paid more attention to the Taoist world in their hearts. They have firmly believed that there must be other inheritance relics related to the realm in the realm of the Quasi-Dao, but they can't find it at present, but as time goes by, these relics of the realm will definitely appear one by one. If there are such realm relics that contain the inheritance of the ancestors, they will enter it at all costs. Hall of Fake Heaven. The incarnation of Zushan Daozu's consciousness descended and informed many true monarchs in Zushan Temple that there was a relic in the Quasi-Dao world, and many true monarchs could enter to compete for opportunities. Other forces also received the communication from the Taoist ancestors and began to go to the ruins. The birth of the ruins also caused a sensation in the entire Quandao world, and even Yi Tian came out of the retreat. After all, the Taoist ancestors personally communicated, this relic must not be an ordinary relic, otherwise the Taoist ancestors would not have to personally communicate. You must know that even when the world of Jeyuan was born, the Taoist ancestors never appeared. It can be seen that the preciousness of this relic must be above the realm of Jeyuan. This time, the domain ruins were born in the kingdom of King Kong. The King Kong real kingdom was established by the King Kong lineage, and the King Kong lineage and the Zushan lineage were one of the 10 chaos lineages. The Chaos 10 lineages were the alliance of 10 top powers, and they were all relatively loose top powers. Like some chaotic sect forces, the management is very strict, and they don't pay attention to seniority but only to strength. The Chaos 10 vessels are different, and they attach great importance to teachers and apprentices and seniority. Precisely because of the different management, the Chaos 10 meridians cannot get along with many top powers, and even the contradictions are deep. The strength of the King Kong line is second only to the Zushan line, but to a certain extent, many forces would rather offend the Zushan line than the King Kong line, because the King Kong line is known for its invincible defense. For example, the first Daozu of the King Kong lineage, King Kong Daozu, may be weaker than Zushan Daozu, but his defense is too abnormal, and Zushan Daozu is estimated to be unable to break his defense. If it is a protracted war, the ancestors of the virtual heaven are estimated to be exhausted to death. The Chaos Body Refinement Technique of the King Kong lineage can be called the strongest Chaos Body Refinement Technique, so the King Kong lineage is very strong at the true monarch level, but weaker at the true ancestor level. Among the 1000 true monarchs, King Kong Zhengguo occupies 7 places, which shows the strength of King Kong Zhengguo at the true monarch level. Yi Tian followed Longhai Zhenjin and his party to King Kong Zhengguo, and Belong Zhenjin of King Kong Zhengguo came to greet him in person. Friends of the Zushan Temple, welcome to the kingdom of King Kong. Zhenjin Belong said with a smile. True monarch Belong, your breath is stronger than before, it seems that you are not far from the realm of half-step true ancestors. Longhai Zhenjin Dao. Longhai Zhenjin, don't be kidding, I am afraid that I will be a long time away from the realm of the half-step true ancestor. It is not so easy to cross the difference of 1 step, but you are about to enter the half-step. Step into the realm of a true monarch. True monarch Belong boasted. The two touted each other, and after a while, they talked about the ruins. True monarch Belong, the ruins are in your real country, what do you know about the ruins? Zhenjin Longhai asked. He cares about the ruins very much, and even Daozu personally communicated, perhaps there is a treasure that helped him step into the half-step true ancestor realm. I can't get in now, and I don't know what's in the ruins. True monarch Baron shook his head and said. The ruins are in your real country, you didn't send anyone in. Longhai Zhenjin wondered. We wanted to send people in, but the Taoist ancestors blocked the entrance to the ruins. I'm afraid that when all the major forces are almost there, the Taoist ancestors will unblock the entrance to the ruins. Belong Zhenjin explained. I see. True monarch Longhai understood. He did not expect that the Taoist ancestors personally blocked the entrance to the ruins, which is a very rare situation. It can be seen that the value of this relic is beyond his imagination. In the following days, the top powers came one by one. In less than 2 days, countless great powers came to King Kong Real Kingdom and gathered at the entrance of the ruins. Too many people. Yi Tian looked around and thought in his heart. With so many true monarchs, there can be so many treasures in just one place. If there are not many treasures, then the competition is probably very fierce. Last time, the realm of Jeyuan let at least tens of millions of true monarchs fall from the realm of Quasi-Dao. It is not too much to distribute to each major force, but it is also an unimaginable huge loss. I don't know how many true monarchs will fall this time. At this moment, the voices of the Taoist ancestors came. We will set a ban, those with insufficient strength will not be allowed to enter the ruins, so as to avoid the danger of falling. Hearing this, the expressions of many true monarchs changed. If you can't get in, won't you get anything? As for the true monarchs on the true monarch list, they are very calm, their strength is strong, even if the Taoist ancestors set a ban, they can easily enter. Boom! In an instant, the cloth was banned. In fact, the Tao ancestors had no choice but to make such a decision, because the ruins were not very large, and if so many true monarchs entered together, the fight would be too serious. In a small space, so many true monarchs are fighting, maybe even the true monarchs will fall. And if they fight too often, they are also afraid that the ruins will be destroyed. Therefore, only by letting a small number of true monarchs enter can they gain a lot of benefits and create a group of true ancestors. G. Chapter 952 The Ruins of the Ape Sect. The Taoist ancestors set up restrictions, and some true monarchs were ready to try it. The first true monarch to rush up is a powerful true monarch with a cultivation level at the pinnacle of the true spirit realm. Although it is far from being comparable to the true monarch on the true monarch list, if it is placed in the entire quasi-Tao world, it can at least be ranked in the real monarch, within a million. Being able to rank among a million is already considered very powerful. After all, there are hundreds of millions of true monarchs in the realm of quasi-Tao. Therefore, this class of true monarchs is simply a strong 1 in 10,000, and naturally it is not weak. Boom! This true monarch tried to rush into the ruins, but no matter how he hit the ban, he couldn't break the ban, and even if he used powerful attack methods, he couldn't do anything to restrain it, and there was not even a single ripple. Seeing this scene, most of the true monarchs were desperate. In their opinion, their strength is not as good as this true monarch, and they will definitely not be able to enter the ruins. At this time, a true monarch broke the restriction and entered the ruins. And other true monarchs wanted to follow this true monarch to enter by the way, but they did not expect the ban to instantly send the ban out. If you put the true monarch into the internal space, you should be able to bring it in. Yu Zhenjin suddenly thought, this method is really good, because which true monarch does not have some living bodies, and has not been expelled? As a result, a top true monarch broke into the ruins with a group of weak true monarchs. But soon, they were shocked to discover that those true monarchs could not come out of the ruins at all, and if they were forced out, they would still be banned from being thrown out. Cheating is impossible to cheat, so many true monarchs can only honestly break the ban. Yi Tian originally wanted to bring true monarch Yanglong into the ruins, but now he couldn't use the cheating method, so he could only let true monarch Yanglong leave, and he entered the ruins alone. Remains. The sky is gray, there is no sun, moon and stars, but for the true monarchs, even if this space is dark, it does not affect their sight, and in their eyes it is also like daytime. Yi Tian stepped on the ground of the ruined space, frowning slightly. Death-like aura, without a trace of life. Yi Tian secretly said. Judging from the situation in the eyes, it should be difficult for any cultivation resources to be born in this relic space. After all, such a harsh environment is not suitable for the growth and evolution of those resources. However, here are the ruins. The real harvest naturally comes from those ruins. If you get some inheritance, it will be more useful than any resources. Swish! A famous true monarch did not stop, and one after another moved towards a group of ruins in the distance. Just as they were about to arrive at the building complex, the true monarchs fell from the sky like dumplings, and they came into close contact with the earth. Of course, the true monarchs didn't feel any discomfort when they hit the ground, but they just looked a little embarrassed. What happened? Strange, we are true monarchs, how could it suddenly fall? It's the Forbidden Air Formation. This should be the headquarters or branch of a certain sect relic, and it is forbidden to fly. Among our major chaotic top forces, such formations are also arranged, otherwise some heavenly monarchs are in the true ancestors or the real ancestors. Tao ancestors firstborn is flying around, is that still a good thing? But this forbidden space formation is a bit strange, it is not the same as our God of War Tower's forbidden space formation. It is estimated that it is a variant of some kind of forbidden air formation. How can there be so many formations in chaos that they are all the same? Under the shroud of the forbidden air formation, many true monarchs could only walk in the ruins honestly, and their speed was naturally greatly affected. Moreover, Yi Tian also discovered that in this relic area, it is impossible to travel through space at all, and the time-space teleportation technique can only be used as a speed supernatural power. This building complex is huge, and the architectural style is very strange. It is a semicircular building, large and small, like stars dotted on this piece of land, and each building is wrapped by a formation. However, many buildings are very broken, and even some buildings are only ruins. Yi Tian came to a ruined building and carefully inspected the ruined building, but unexpectedly found that the material of this building was very unusual. A rare metal that can even be used to craft treasures. Yi Tian judged. The treasures in the universe are like toys to the true monarchs, but for low-level practitioners, the treasures are extremely precious. And no matter how many materials can be used to refine treasures, they will not be used to build buildings. There are so many buildings in this area, and if so many materials are used to refine treasures, there will be hundreds of millions. Really rich power, Yi Tian muttered. Although he doesn't like these materials, he still collects them one by one. He can't use them, and he can throw them away to the human race. The human race's demand for these materials is the more the better, and there will be no dislike. This ruined building occupies a radius of dozens of miles, and Yi Tian's consciousness easily shrouded this area. Dozens of incomplete classics, dozens of incomplete chaos treasure fragments, some daily necessities, and a small amount of resources. This space is very magical. Even after a long period of time, these things have not turned into ashes. It can be seen that this place can withstand the passage of time. Yi Tian checked those books, but found that they were all ordinary books, similar to some resources, and some relatively low-level secret skills, and they were all relatively incomplete and of little value. But Yi Tian still knew some things from these ancient books. For example, this is the headquarters of a sect, and this sect is called the Heavenly Ape Sect. This is the information recorded in an entry-level disciple handbook. It is worth mentioning that the words here are different from the words commonly used in the chaos. If this type of words did not fit the Great Tao, Yi Tian would not be able to understand the meaning. Quote. Strange, very strange. Yi Tian frowned deeply. The power of a sect, and isn't it, as Zhao, this Wang Zun Dao world? The quasi-Dao world is promoted from the fusion of two ordinary universes. The ordinary universe simply cannot accommodate the powerhouses above Tianjin. Even if there are sect relics, they are still weak sects, and the strongest are at most divine generals. That's it. Moreover, he now basically understands the situation of the two ordinary universes, and the Heavenly Ape Sect is definitely not the birth force of these two universes. In addition, the traces that exist here are too long, and it is definitely an extremely ancient force. Such forces suddenly appear in the quasi-Dao world, which is extremely strange to him. Could it be that the Dao ancestors moved this space from somewhere in chaos and merged into the quasi-Dao world? Yi Tian guessed. But this kind of speculation can't stand scrutiny, and there is no need for Taoist ancestors to do so. Forget it, let's look for the baby. Yi Tian no longer thought about this problem, but went to find the treasures and inheritance in the ruins. Chapter 953 The True Monarch Puppet. Boom boom boom. In front of a relatively complete building, a group of true monarchs are constantly attacking the formation of this building. There are no good things in those ruins. It is estimated that they were destroyed in the battle or collected by the enemy. Even if there are some treasures, they are basically incomplete. Therefore, after the other true monarchs explored the ruins of some buildings, they set their sights on these complete buildings. For example, the building in front of him occupies 1,000 miles, and among many buildings, it is definitely above the middle. It is estimated that there are many good things in it. Once you break the formation and enter the interior of the building, you can get some benefits. Wow, Yi Tian also came here and attracted the attention of many true monarchs. I have seen Wanfa Daozi. These true monarchs said politely. They are a little afraid of Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian is the true monarch of the true monarch list, and his strength is much stronger than them. If Yi Tian did something to them, they would not be opponents. Make a move together, break the formation, whoever finds the treasure will belong to whoever. Yi Tian said. As soon as these words came out, the other true monarchs were relieved a lot. Boom, many true monarchs shot together, plus Yi Tian, the true monarch list 247, within 3 hours, the formation of this building was completely broken. Immediately, a group of true monarchs poured into the building. There are passages inside the building, and there are dangers inside. Not long after entering the building, some true monarchs encountered a group of puppets. Although there are sects who are proficient in puppets in the chaos, the puppets are not strong, at most comparable to some heavenly emperors, and stronger puppets are rare. The value of some puppets that can rival the true monarch powerhouse is basically comparable to that of a top half Dao weapon, and there is no market for it. I don't know how many strong people want to buy a puppet to protect their juniors, so that they can protect their juniors. But nowadays, such rare true monarch puppets abound here. Moreover, the puppets here are very powerful, even stronger than the powerful true monarch. However, the true monarchs who can enter the ruins are very powerful. Only the true monarchs who rank in the top 100,000 in the entire quasi-Dao world are qualified to enter here. If they are placed in the chaos, they are the top true monarchs who are famous in countless territories. Therefore, one of them is enough to deal with a group of ordinary true monarchs, and CJFI dealing with some powerful true monarch puppets is naturally not a problem. But the key point is that the materials of these puppets are very extraordinary, and it is difficult to destroy the puppets, so if they are surrounded by many puppets, they will be caught in a prolonged fight for a while, which is not conducive to them looking for treasures. Yi Tian just entered not long ago, chose a passage, and soon encountered the interception of dozens of puppets. Puppets are rare. Yi Tian looked at the dozens of puppets in front of him and was very surprised. When these puppets rushed over, he slashed over them with one knife, directly slashing them flying, and leaving a line of knife marks on their bodies, but did not cut them off. The defense is strong. Yi Tian had a hint of interest. Although he did not use all his strength, the attack just now was enough to kill a powerful true monarch, but he did not kill these puppets. If there are enough such puppets, they can really threaten a true ancestor. Immediately, Yi Tian struck with all his strength, directly smashing a puppet into pieces. Soon after, these puppets were all destroyed. In fact, Yi Tian also wanted to live these puppets, but if they were alive, these puppets would always resist, and these puppets were different from cultivators, unable to control their souls or be severely injured and dying. So, he can only destroy them. After destroying these puppets, Yi Tian didn't have time to study, and directly put away their fragments, and then began to look for treasures. Searching through secret rooms, and halls, Yi Tian really found a lot of good things. For example, some cultivation resources, some weapons, some classics and secret techniques, and a few chaotic supernatural power inheritance and so on. But to Yi Tian's disappointment, the things here are basically limited to the true monarch level, and there is almost nothing useful to the true ancestor. Obviously, this should be the residence of a powerful true monarch. And this top true monarch should also have a group of weak true monarch servants and Tianjin servants, but I don't know what happened, and these people all fell and died. In the process of searching, Yi Tian also destroyed about 100 puppets. At this time, Yi Tian was even more curious. A top true monarch has so many puppets, which is an unimaginable wealth in itself. He also knows the value of a true monarch puppet in the chaos, and these are not ordinary true monarch puppets, and their value is even more unimaginable. A puppet is equivalent to a top half-Dao weapon, so many puppets are equivalent to how many half-Dao weapons. This is definitely an unimaginable wealth. And these wealth belong to a top true monarch. Is it too strange? Could it be that this sect is good at refining puppets? Therefore, a top true monarch can also obtain a large number of true monarch puppets. Yi Tian guessed. At the same time, outside the quasi-Dao world, a group of top true ancestors also observed the situation inside the ruins by using a special method. When they saw these puppets, they were all heartbroken. True monarch puppet, so many true monarch puppets are too valuable, I really want to enter now. It's useless to go in. If there is no way for this kind of true monarch puppet to recognize its master, it can only be destroyed. The destroyed true monarch puppet is worthless. And I found that these true monarch puppets should be based on their original status. The master's setting, once an intruder is found, will attack, even if their master falls, this process will continue. In general, this group of puppets can be re-identified only after they are captured alive and then changed. The power to refine a large number of true monarch puppets is not simple, and naturally the program cannot be easily changed. Therefore, no matter how precious these true monarch puppets are, they can only be destroyed. There may be some unidentified puppets in the ruins, and if you get one, you will earn it. What the hell is going on with this ruin? How come there are so many puppets of the true monarch? Even the puppet sect, one of the top powers, can't create so many puppets of the true monarch, right? The Taoist ancestors didn't disclose the news. It is estimated that there are some secrets involved. While chatting, the true ancestors paid attention to the situation of the ruins. And this time, Yi Tian came to the bedroom residence of the top true monarch, the owner of the building. Here, he discovered an amazing secret. Chapter 954 The Incredible Secret. Yi Tian found an ancient book, similar to a diary-type notepad, which recorded many important events and part of the experience of this top true monarch. This true monarch was named Zhao Ke, a true disciple of the Heavenly Ape sect, and one of the more common among the many true disciples. But what shocked Yi Tian was the following record. Today, I went to the Holy Sect with the sect master to celebrate the birthday of a supreme elder of the Holy Sect. The Holy Sect is very powerful, and the guards guarding are all puppets at the true ancestor level. I also saw a Holy Son of the Holy Sect, that the Holy Son is very enchanting, and there are Taoist puppets as guards. It would be great if I could join the Holy Sect and become a Holy Son. Seeing the information on this page, Yi Tian was shocked. He doesn't know about the so-called Holy Sect, but a Holy Son actually has a Taoist puppet, which is too exaggerated, isn't it? In the countless territories of chaos, Daozu is also the top existence. How can a Holy Son have Daozu puppets as guards? If there is a Taoist puppet, it will definitely be regarded as the real trump card of a top power. Yi Tian was very surprised, but he continued to browse the content behind the notepad. Soon, he saw another page of astonishing record recording events. A big event has happened. I heard that amazing treasures were born, many forces were fighting each other, I heard that many Taoist ancestors fell, and even many powerful Taoist ancestors were killed. Our heavenly ape sect is too weak, even when there is no Taoist ancestor. I hope this matter will not affect our heavenly ape sect, otherwise our heavenly ape sect will be completely finished. Seeing this, Yi Tian's pupils shrank. A large number of Taoist ancestors have fallen, what an astonishing thing. Moreover, the supreme Taoist ancestor, what level is this? It is definitely not an ordinary Taoist ancestor, but perhaps the most powerful existence among the Taoist ancestors. However, these existences have all fallen, which shows how tragic the fight is. The last page. Yi Tian saw panic and despair from the writing. It's over, everything is over, the realm will be shattered, the treasure will attract outsiders, the legendary Supreme World Master will fall, and everyone will die. Domain. World Lord. Yi Tian's expression changed, as if he knew a great secret. From the real monarch's notebook, it can be known that the ape sect should be a force in the domain, and it is a very weak force, and there are many Taoist ancestors in the domain. A treasure attracted many forces to fight, many Taoist ancestors fell, and later attracted strong people outside the realm, the master of the realm fought against it, and also fell and died. And in this battle, the domain was shattered. This is probably what happened. If you say that, isn't the realm master more powerful than Daozu? No, it may also be a Daozu, but far beyond other Daozu. After all, Daozu is already at the extreme of chaos, and it is impossible to appear more than Daozu. A mighty presence. Yi Tian muttered. Daozu is the pinnacle of practice, which is the common sense knowledge of chaos. Therefore, Yi Tian would not think that the World Lord was above the Tao ancestor. But Yi Tian is very puzzled at this moment, because there are a lot of Tao ancestors' realm, this is not an ordinary place. However, he has never even been to chaos, perhaps chaos is not as simple as he imagined, there must be many secrets, maybe chaos has some realms, just like hidden forces. It's just that he hasn't reached that level, and Daozu Zushin will naturally not tell him. Go back and ask Master about the realm. Yi Tian muttered. There are no good things in the bedroom of the true disciple of the heavenly ape sect. It is estimated that the treasures are all on the body of the true disciple, and the true disciple died in the outside world, so the treasures were lost. It's time to leave. Yi Tian quickly left the building and headed towards other areas of the heavenly ape sect. Next, Yi Tian and other true monarchs broke through several residences of the disciples of the heavenly ape sect, and immediately understood one thing. There are few good things in the residences of these ape sect disciples. Although there are some true monarch puppets, these true monarch puppets cannot be subdued and can only be destroyed, so their value is not high. If it continues like this, don't think about how much you will gain by entering the ruins this time. These ape sect disciples, treasures are probably all on their own bodies. Just like me, my treasures are almost all on their own bodies. There are only some sundries in my residence, and their value is not very high. Ask for flowers, Yi Tian thought to himself. Therefore, he did not plan to continue to break through the residences of the disciples of the ape sect, but went to the central area of the ape sect. This is the real core area of the ape sect. Although there are many ruins, there are definitely more good things. Suddenly, Yi Tian received the message from Longhai Zhenjin. Little junior brother, come here. After Yi Tian received the information, he hurried to the place where Longhai Zhenjin was. In front of a semi-ruined ruin. A Ming Zhenjin stood here, and Yi Tian also came here and stood beside Longhai Zhenjin. Senior brother Longhai, Yi Tian said softly. Little junior brother, look there. True monarch Longhai pointed in the direction of the ruins and said. Yi Tian followed the direction that Longhai Zhenjin pointed, and saw that in the center of the ruins that stretched for thousands of miles, there was a huge broken stone tablet, and the broken stone tablet radiated a power, forming layers of special spaces. Little junior brother, this ruin should be an assessment site for the ape sect. Someone tried to approach the stone tablet and entered the space for the assessment. The ape sect seems to attach great importance to body refining, so the content of the assessment is almost the same as that of the ape sect. Body refining is related. Although there is no reward for the assessment, the content of the assessment is a series of incomplete body refining secrets, and these body refining secrets alone are worth a lot. Longhai Zhenjin introduced. Oh, about the secret art of body refining. Yi Tian became interested. Although he owns the True Spirit chapter of Xuanshu secret art, in fact, the Zushin lineage is not good at the secret technique of body refining. 2 awesome body exercises. According to Yi Tian's calculations, even if he trains the true spirit chapter of Xuanshuju to the 9th floor, he will not be able to push his body to the limit of his physical body, and this ruin is not simple. Maybe there is a body-refining secret technique that helps him tremendously. Senior brother Longhai, let's go in together. Yi Tian said with a smile. It is good, Zhenjin Longhai nodded. Immediately, Yi Tian entered the ruins with true monarch Longhai, and entered the first-level assessment space formed by the broken stone tablet. Chapter 955 The 6 Precious Treasures of the Ruins. After entering the assessment space, Yi Tian found that true monarch Longhai had disappeared. Although he could vaguely sense the existence of true monarch Longhai, he could not contact, observe or touch, as if the two were in different dimensions. Yi Tian didn't care about this, but focused on a broken version of the body-refining secret technique that was transmitted to him by the broken stone tablet. Hey, this incomplete version of the body-refining secret technique is not simple. Yi Tian was surprised. This incomplete version of the body-refining technique is the Boulder Real Body Art, which is of high grade and far inferior to his own mysterious art, but the Boulder Real Body Art seems to be a chaotic body-refining art of another system. Physical art is not one type. Moreover, the Boulder Real Body Art is difficult to record with memory. If it cannot be practiced, it cannot be passed down at all, and it cannot even be recorded. Obviously, the Boulder Real Body Art involves a little shadow of a certain 247 taboo body refining technique, thus possessing this characteristic. If you have perfected the Boulder Real Body Art, and really practice it, you will really have this body refining technique, otherwise you will soon forget it, and you won't even be able to pass it on to others. In addition, even if you have practiced the Boulder Real Body, you can only modify it and pass it on to others in the form of ideological inheritance, but you must pay a certain price. Basically, this chaotic body refining technique can only be used by yourself. Or you can create that kind of stone tablet, so that it can continue to be passed on. Yi Tian muttered, Transcendence talent, open. Yi Tian turned on the supernatural talent, his comprehension increased to a terrifying level, and then he began to comprehend the Boulder Real Body Art. As long as you comprehend and understand the Boulder's true body art, you will know how to perfect this incomplete version of the chaos body refinement technique. Moreover, if you obtain a chaos body refinement technique, if you modify it later, you may be able to create a chaos body refinement technique suitable for the continuous inheritance of the human race, which has unimaginable benefits for the development of the human race. At present, the chaos body refinement technique cultivated by the human race is relatively general, and Yi Tian can't pass on the Xuanshu art, otherwise it would violate the rules of Zushin's lineage. This time, he hopes to obtain a large amount of chaos body refinement techniques, and none of them are ordinary chaos body refinement techniques. Time passed little by little, except for a few true monarchs such as Yi Tian. Other true monarchs gave up perfecting the chaos body refinement technique and left one by one. After all, for many true monarchs, perfecting the chaos body refinement technique is a waste of time, and there are no good rewards. It is better to go to other places, and maybe you can get amazing results. Yi Tian also wants to go to other places, but he is not short of resources at present, and the inheritance of this broken stone tablet is useful to him, but it takes a long time. But if it wastes a lot of time to obtain an amazing inheritance, that is not bad. Yi Tian is very confident in himself. He feels that the broken stone tablet must have a chaotic body refining technique that is comparable to or even surpasses the Xuanshu art. Although the strength of the Heavenly Ape sect is far inferior to that of the Zushin lineage, and it does not even have a Taoist ancestor, the Heavenly Ape sect is after all one of the sects of the domain. A pulse. The inheritance of a force must not only depend on the strength of a force, but also on the environment in which it is located. The true ancestors have been observing the ruins, but their strength is limited, and they can only look at the situation of ordinary buildings, and they cannot observe the broken stone monument. Even those Taoist ancestors, when the incarnation of consciousness came, only roughly observed the situation of the ape sect. After knowing that the ape sect was only a true ancestor, they were not very interested. If they understand it carefully, there must be some gains. With the passage of time, the buildings of the ruins were broken by the true monarchs, and some lucky people even obtained a true monarch puppet that had never been recognized as the master. Those true ancestors can definitely make a fortune. There are also some who have obtained a little inheritance, but they are basically the inheritance of the true monarch that is not too precious. Decades later, the buildings in the entire ruined land were basically explored by the true monarchs. Among them, there are 6 most precious places. One is the book collection pavilion, which contains many precious books. However, the book collection pavilion was half destroyed, and the highest level of the book collection pavilion was destroyed. Therefore, there are no top-notch books. Jun and a small number of ancient books of knowledge of the true ancestors have been preserved. However, some of the formations of the Tibetan scripture pavilion are still preserved. The power of these formations is not very powerful, but if you want to obtain the classics, you can only browse them one by one, so it is very time-consuming. The second place is the real-time tower. This building is relatively well preserved, and everyone can enter the practice. Entering the real tower of time can consume energy to activate the time array, and even activate 10,000 times the time acceleration. If you practice here, you can speed up your practice. 10,000 times time acceleration is very extraordinary. Even ETN is difficult to achieve 10,000 times time acceleration, and if he keeps time acceleration, his own divine power is consumed too fast, and it is difficult to concentrate on cultivation. But if you are practicing in the real-time tower, you don't need to worry about these, you only need to store a lot of resource energy in the time array energy center, you can activate the time array, and you don't need to worry about it yourself. When the time tower is exposed, many real monarchs enter it to cultivate, which can save a lot of time and grow up at the fastest speed. The third place is the broken stone tablet, which is where ETN is now, but there are very few true monarchs who want to enter here. The fourth place is the forest of heaven and earth, a stone forest that contains endless natural formations, and they are all brand new formation systems. For those true monarchs who are proficient in formations, this is undoubtedly the most precious treasure. Many true monarchs are cultivating and comprehending formations in the forest of heaven and earth. The fifth place is the true disciple trial space, but this trial space is broken a lot, and many levels have disappeared. This place is not very helpful to the true monarchs, but it is the only place to obtain the true disciple order place. At the beginning, this treasure place was not attractive, but a true monarch on the true monarch list obtained a true inheritance disciple order from it, and entered the 6th treasure land 5.8, which was the true inheritance hall. When the news came out, the true disciple trial space attracted a large number of true monarchs, but unfortunately it was very difficult to obtain the true disciple order. But everyone wants to enter the true inheritance hall, because this is the only building that has not been breached. Even if the formation is broken, its power cannot be broken by the true monarch. Moreover, the true monarch who came out of the true inheritance hall obtained a complete true inheritance from it, a powerful inheritance that can be directly cultivated to the true ancestor's pinnacle. Such inheritance is of very high value, not even lower than an ordinary Taoist weapon. How could anyone ignore such a legacy? And all of this has nothing to do with ETN. He has been breaking the stone tablet assessment space, and has completed the assessment task of perfecting the boulder real body art in the first floor assessment space. Chapter 956 Perfect Chaos Body Refinement Technique. There is no reward for perfecting the boulder true body art. This is something ETN has known for a long time, and it is precisely because of this that other true monarchs are unwilling to stay here. But ETN felt that he had obtained a chaos body refinement technique, which was already an amazing gain. The incomplete version of the boulder real body art is far inferior to the Xuanxu art, because although the incomplete version of the boulder real body art can also be cultivated, the speed of cultivation is too slow, and the power of increase is too weak. Perfect, the power has skyrocketed a lot, although it is still not as good as Xuanxu art, but it is no weaker than the chaos body refinement technique of some true ancestors. Yi Tian thought to himself. He also knows that the reason why the boulder real body art is so powerful is because it contains the shadow of a terrible taboo chaotic body refining technique, otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to be so powerful. Enter the second floor. Yi Tian moved and came to the second floor of the broken stone tablet assessment space. Here, Yi Tian obtained another chaos body refinement technique, which was higher in grade than the boulder true body art. It was called the Black Iron Battle Body Art, and it was also an incomplete version of the Chaos Body Refinement Technique. The Black Iron Battle Body Art is more complicated than the Boulder Real Body Art, and has more shadows of the taboo Chaos Body Refinement Art. Once it is perfected, its power is still inferior to the Xuanxu art, and I am afraid it is not too weak. Yi Tian thought to himself. It will definitely take more time to perfect the Black Iron Battle Body Art, and he has spent hundreds of years perfecting the Boulder Real Body Art. It is estimated that it will take thousands of years to perfect the Black Iron Battle Body Art, and even more many. Time flies. The ruins gradually began to open to the outside world, and there was no more fighting here, but became a holy place for cultivation. Many true monarchs entered the ruins and used the 6 precious treasures of the ruins to improve their background and strength. Moreover, the true monarchs of the top powers are also repairing some of the formations here, as if to make this place a real cultivation holy place. In addition, the true monarchs of many great forces have also built a giant city in this relic space, and the giant city includes the true Tower of Time. This giant city is also called the Giant City of the Ape, which is a commemoration of the sect that has disappeared, the Ape sect. The Giant City of the Apes has also become a trading city built by the joint efforts of the top powers. For this reason, the top powers have worked together to study and finally research the space teleportation array between the relic space and the real countries. In this way, the major forces do not need to enter the kingdom of King Kong, and can directly come to the Giant City of the Apes. Otherwise, if the true monarchs enter the kingdom of King Kong at will, the true monarchs of the kingdom of King Kong will not be happy. And the appearance of this space teleportation array solved this trouble. In a flash, 6,000 years have passed. Finally perfect. Yi Tian took a deep breath. Although 6,000 years is not a long time for him, it is not a short time just to perfect a chaos body refinement technique. The difficulty of perfecting and creating is not the same. Creating a chaos body refinement technique is difficult, but perfecting is much easier. This is like asking him to create a chaotic supernatural power. He may need tens of millions of years, but if he is allowed to perfect an incomplete chaotic supernatural power, he may get it in hundreds or even decades. But even with such a simple examination, it took him 6,000 years, which shows how difficult it is to perfect this chaos body refinement technique. This perfected black iron battle body art is estimated to be comparable to the chaotic body refining techniques of some top true ancestors, and even the chaotic body refining techniques of some newly promoted Taoist forces are estimated to be at this level. Yi Tian muttered. From this, it can be seen that the heavenly ape sect is not simple. A real ancestor force just came up with such a chaotic body refining technique. Yi Tian did not continue to enter the third floor assessment space, but left here first. He can come back at any time, there is no such thing as a one-time entry. After coming out, Yi Tian came to know some situation and the situation of other treasures, so he came to the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. He is not very interested in capturing the true disciple Ling. Although he can obtain a true inheritance, it will definitely take a lot of time. He would rather waste this time on the chaos body refinement technique of the broken stone steel than on other things. The reason why he entered the Kangjing Pavilion is because the Kangjing Pavilion must contain the cultivation system and knowledge of the realm, which is of great help for him to perfect those chaotic body refining techniques. He has basically understood that the heavenly ape sect is quite different from the chaotic cultivation system he knows. If it is just relying on his own knowledge, it is more difficult to perfect the boulder real body art and the black iron battle body art. If you continue to improve it, surely you will be in shackles. Therefore, he needs to supplement his knowledge points. In the following days, Yi Tian soaked in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion of the Heavenly Monkey Sect. Although the classics here do not contain a strong inheritance, many knowledge systems have refreshed many true monarchs. Therefore, there are not a few true monarchs who browse the classics in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. Yi Tian spent tens of thousands of years browsing through the ancient books, and after reading countless ancient books, the whole person basically had a deep understanding of the cultivation system of the realm. What surprised him was that the cultivation system of the domain was similar to that of human race 247. The cultivation system of the domain is also the same as the inner world, but there are still some differences, but some aspects can be used for reference. For example, a practitioner of the inner world can use the inner world or the inner universe to display a realm technique. The realm technique is not a magical power, but an application of the power of the inner universe or the world to form a special realm. The realm can isolate all forces. For example, if the enemy wants to use the space supernatural power to escape, as soon as the realm is used, the space is directly blocked, so that the enemy cannot escape. Moreover, the realm can suppress the enemy, and the powerful realm can even make the enemy unable to move. If it cooperates with some space source supernatural powers, it is not too easy to suppress the enemy. It is a pity that the technique of the realm is very precious, and the ordinary realm is not very useful. There is no realm technique in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion, so Yi Tian can only sigh. After that, Yi Tian entered the assessment space of the broken stone tablet and continued the assessment. The third examination space. Yi Tian needs a complete and incomplete version of the chaos body refinement technique, which is called the silver purple emperor art, which is far more subtle than the black iron battle body art. Seeing this chaos body refinement technique, Yi Tian was excited and began to perfect it with all his strength. Chapter 957 The Golden Ape Body Refinement Technique. Difficult. Too difficult. As soon as Yi Tian perfected the Silver Purple Emperor art, he felt the amazing difficulty, and it would take a long time to perfect the Silver Purple Emperor art. It's too difficult to cross. Yi Tian muttered. He estimated that there were other assessments between the Black Iron Battle Body art and the Silver Purple Emperor art, but the steel was broken, resulting in some incomplete assessments. No matter what this didn't affect, Yi Tian quickly corrected his mentality and continued to perfect the Silver Purple Emperor art. Years passed by. 10,000 years. 100,000 years. Million years. Finally, on this day in the 1.86 millionth year, Yi Tian perfected the Silver Purple Emperor art. The perfected Silver Purple Emperor Ju is not weaker than the True Spirit chapter of the Xuanxu Ju, and he can also cultivate it, which is enough to make the body stronger. Therefore, the Silver Purple Emperor art is still useful to Yi Tian, but it is not too useful. What Yi Tian cares about is not the Silver Purple Emperor art, but the subsequent assessment. If the assessment continues, the fragment of the Chaos Body Refinement art that appears will inevitably surpass the Xuanxu art. Keep checking. Yi Tian came to the 4th floor assessment space. At this time, Yi Tian was surprised to find that he was close to the broken stone tablet, and this was the last level of assessment. There are only 4 levels of assessment space. It seems that this steel is too incomplete, otherwise there should be more assessment space. Yi Tian thought to himself. Entering the 4th layer of space, Yi Tian naturally also obtained a broken version of the Chaos Body Refinement technique, the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique. This body refining technique, it's too complicated. Yi Tian was extremely shocked. He originally thought that this Chaos Body Refinement technique was only stronger than Xuanxu art, but he never expected that this Chaos Body Refinement art seemed to be much stronger than Xuanxu art. It is shocking that a heavenly ape sect with only the true ancestor has such a body refining technique. However, Yi Tian frowned and said, "This Golden Ape Body Refining technique is so high-end, if you want to perfect it, it will be very difficult. If it takes billions of years to perfect this Chaos Body Refinement technique, it seems to be worth the loss." But he didn't want to give up. If he gave up on perfection, if he left here, he would soon forget about the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique. It must be perfected. No matter how much time is wasted, this Chaos Body Refinement technique must be perfected. Otherwise, if I want to reach the ultimate physical body at the true monarch level, it is estimated that it will be very troublesome. There is simply no way for me to reach the true spirit chapter of the mere Xuanxu art. Reaching the limit of the physical body, it can only reach 1/10 of the level, so I must practice stronger Chaos Body Refinement technique or use massive resources to accumulate physical strength. Yi Tian whispered. So, Yi Tian decided to perfect the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique. As soon as he perfected it, Yi Tian was shocked to find that his aura seemed to be endless, and the speed of perfection was too fast. It's this broken stone monument. Yi Tian understood. At this moment, under the influence of the broken stone tablet, he can quickly improve the Chaos Body Refinement technique. This is estimated to be a benefit given by the Heavenly Ape sect, otherwise those true monarch disciples would not be able to perfect the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique all their lives, so the purpose of the assessment would be lost. Originally, if you were relying on yourself, it would take at least billions of years to perfect the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique, but now it is estimated that it only takes 10 million years to completely perfect this Golden Ape Body Refinement technique, and it's perfect. Yi Tian calculated. Time passes slowly. Because of the appearance of the ape sect relics, many true monarchs have grown very fast, and even more than 10 true monarchs have broken the shackles in one fell swoop with the help of the opportunity or inheritance of the relics, and have completely condensed a complete avenue. Step into the realm of true ancestors. And some true monarchs have also entered the true monarch list one after another. Yi Tian, who was originally on the true monarch list, has been comprehending and perfecting the Golden Ape Body Refinement technique, so his practice has temporarily stopped, and he has suddenly fallen out of the true monarch list. Yi Tian didn't care about this. If he wanted to re-enter the true monarch ranking, he would definitely relax. And no other true monarch dared to underestimate Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian's growth rate was so fast, who would dare to underestimate him? Moreover, the fact that Yi Tian has been perfecting the Chaos Body Refinement technique by breaking the stone tablet quickly spread out, so people are very clear about the reason why his strength has not improved. In a blink of an eye, thousands of years have passed. This day, Yi Tian's laughter filled the assessment space on the 4th floor of the broken stone tablet, but no one heard it. Finally perfect. Yi Tian laughed. The perfected Golden Ape Body Refinement technique is simply a sky-defying Chaos Body Refinement technique, far surpassing the Xuanshu art, and there are even more shadows of possessing the taboo chaos body refinement technique. According to Yi Tian's guess, that taboo chaos body refinement technique is probably earth-shattering, but unfortunately the golden ape body refinement technique is already the most advanced chaos body refinement technique here. Of course, Yi Tian was also very satisfied. Immediately, Yi Tian began to practice the golden ape body refinement technique here, and he gave up the chapter on the true spirit of Xuanshu. The golden ape body refinement technique is divided into 6 levels, and each level is further divided into 4 levels: introductory, small completion, great completion, and consummation. The first realm is suitable for the level below Tianjin, the second realm is suitable for Tianjin, the third to fourth realm is suitable for true monarchs, and the fifth and sixth realms are suitable for real ancestors. In short, the golden ape body refinement technique can always be cultivated to the extreme of the true ancestor. It can be seen from this point that the golden ape body refinement technique is a chaotic body refinement technique with inestimable value. Not long after cultivating, Yi Tian found that the golden ape body refinement technique was too suitable for him, even more suitable than Xuanshu art. Quote, "Strange, I have practiced mysterious void art since I was weak. Why does the golden ape body refinement art feel that it is perfect for me since I just started practicing?" Yi Tian was intrigued. Soon, he will. Because the golden ape body refinement technique was perfected by him, to a certain extent, it was a chaos body refinement technique that was perfected and created according to his own situation, so it was the most suitable for him, while the Xuanshu was created by Zushin Daozu, not specially created for him. Therefore, the golden ape body refinement technique is more suitable for him. Yi Tian now understands why the heavenly ape sect let people enter the space of the steel to continuously improve the chaos body refinement technique. I am afraid that the chaos body refinement technique perfected in this way is the most suitable for him. Everyone cultivates the chaos body refinement technique that suits them, and only then can their own potential be developed. This ape sect is not easy, Yi Tian muttered. Afterwards, Yi Tian left here and entered the true pagoda of time. This time, he was going to use the 10,000 times the time of the true time pagoda to speed up and improve his strength with all his strength. Chapter 958, Rank 62 on the True Monarch list. Yi Tian now has no shortage of resources, plus he possesses a chaos body refinement technique that is more powerful than Xuanshu art, a golden ape body refinement technique, so he can improve his strength very quickly. After entering the true pagoda of time, Yi Tian chose a closed room, and then opened the time array, placing countless chaotic spar and many energy spar into the center of the formation. When the big formation is opened, there is no need for Yi Tian to worry, and it does not affect Yi Tian's cultivation. Otherwise, if you turn on the time to speed up, your own divine power will be continuously consumed, and if you practice to improve the physical strength, it will be greatly affected. Because of this, the stronger the strength, the more time it is basically used to accelerate the time, rather than relying on itself. Of course, if you invite a strong person to urge time to speed up your cultivation, that would be very good, but there is absolutely no one who is so stupid to help yourself like this. Under the consumption of a large amount of resources, Yi Tian gradually cultivated the first stage of the golden ape body refinement technique to the perfect state. The strength did not improve much, but the foundation was stronger. After that, Yi Tian began to practice the second level of the golden ape body refinement technique, and soon reached the perfect state. Begin to practice the third level of the golden ape body refinement technique. According to the comparison with the Xuanshu, the third level entry of the golden ape body refinement technique is equivalent to the first to the third level of the true spirit chapter of the Xuanshu. The golden ape body refinement technique, the third level of minor achievements, corresponds to the fourth to sixth layers of the true spirit chapter of Xuanshu. If the third stage of body refinement is the perfect state, it is far beyond the chapter of the true spirit of Xuanshu. Yi Tian said, and this is only a preliminary comparison. In fact, at the same level, the increase in physical strength, divine power, and spiritual transformation brought to Yi Tian by the golden ape body refinement technique surpasses that of the true spirit chapter of Xuanshu. Certainly, the golden ape body refinement technique also consumes a lot of resources, but Yi Tian has obtained a large amount of cultivation like innate origins before, so there is no shortage of resources for the time being, which is enough for him to hit the real ancestor realm. Years have passed. Yi Tian has been in retreat for 1 billion years in the true pagoda of time, and only 100,000 years have passed in the outside world. After such a long period of time, Yi Tian spent a lot of innate origins, but his progress was also very fast. Now, he has cultivated the golden ape body refinement technique to the third great achievement realm, and it should be considered as the middle stage of the great achievement. The third major achievement of the Golden Ape body refinement technique made Yi Tian's physical body far greater than before, and his strength naturally skyrocketed a lot. Now his strength has steadily entered the True Monarch list, and he is still at the forefront of the True Monarch list, ranking 62nd. Giant City of Ape. Yi Tian came out of the real-time tower and saw many real monarchs. They greeted Yi Tian one after another, and their tone was full of respect. And his subordinate Yanglong Zhenjin also came to Yi Tian for the first time. Master, congratulations on your achievement of number 62 on the True Monarch list. True Monarch Yanglong congratulated him. He is very excited now, although he is not the 62nd on the True Monarch list, but as Yi Tian's servant, he also feels very honored. Number 62 on the True Monarch list, what an honor this is. According to his understanding, the True Monarchs who can rank in the top 100 True Monarchs list are almost all chief disciples among the True Monarch disciples of the top powers. Moreover, they have cultivated for countless years, and their physical body, soul, and divine power have advanced to the point where they cannot advance, and the prototype of the avenue is at 99,999 meters, and they have mastered at least one source magical power. All of these true monarchs have their prestige intimidating the countless territories of chaos, and even defeated or killed the true ancestors who were not weak. One person is comparable to an ordinary great force. For example, in the Zushan lineage, there was only one such true monarch before this, that is, the Longhai true monarch. As for true monarch Chengguang, although he was also very powerful, he still did not make it into the top 100 on the true monarch ranking. But now, Yi Tian has entered this level, and it is not a new entry, but is ranked 62nd on the true monarch list, which is not a low ranking. Moreover, Yi Tian is proficient in a large number of chaotic supernatural powers, and his life-saving ability is against the sky, so it is definitely very difficult to deal with. Even those who are ranked higher than Yi Tian probably dare not offend Yi Tian. How could he not be proud to have such a master? What's going on recently? Yi Tian asked. Master, some inheritances of the ape sect relics have been acquired by other true monarchs one after another, and the origin of the ape sect has gradually become clear. This is the information about the ape sect collected by the subordinates. 1. True monarch Yanglong handed over a document and said, "Oh, you've almost figured out the origin of the ape sect." Yi Tian was a little surprised. He has been in retreat all these years, so he doesn't know much about the outside world. After taking over the information, Yi Tian looked at it carefully. One of them, CJFI, some information, he knew before, but some information is not known before. The Heavenly Ape Sect is one of the subordinate forces of the Holy Ape Sect. The Holy Ape Sect has many Taoist ancestors, as well as the strongest Taoist ancestors. Yi Tian was very interested in this information. In addition, the news about the domain is also all above. It turns out that the domain is a world above the Tao. Yi Tian muttered, but this information is not complete. For example, what is the specific situation of the domain, and where is the domain where the ape sect is located? This point has not been pointed out, and perhaps other true monarchs do not know. Maybe Master knows, Yi Tian muttered. After coming out of the ape sect ruins, Yi Tian took the initiative to contact his master. Boom! The consciousness incarnation of Shu Tian Daozu descended and appeared in front of Yi Tian. Master, Yi Tian said respectfully. Teacher, why are you looking for a teacher? Shu Tian Daozu asked. Yi Tian asked. Master, the disciple has obtained a fragmented version of the inheritance of the chaos body refinement technique in the ruins of the ape sect. This chaos body refinement technique is far higher than the Xuanshu art. Moreover, the realm where the ape sect is located seems to be very strong, with a large number of Taoist ancestors. Where is the realm? The cultivation system there seems to be very high. Oh, you actually, the inheritance of the chaos body refinement technique. Not bad. Zushan Daozu said in surprise. He just found out that Yi Tian's body has changed a bit, the shadow of Xuanshu seems to have disappeared, and now he knows that Yi Tian has changed the chaos body refinement technique. He didn't ask for Yi Tian's chaos body refinement technique, because many chaos body refinement techniques were not allowed to leak out. Teacher, in fact, chaos is not only the one we know about. Even if the area of AA chaos we are in is very large, it will take a long time for the ancestors to cross this area, but this is not the whole of chaos. We are here. A chaotic area does not have a domain boundary, and the domain boundary comes from other chaotic areas. However, our chaotic area is surrounded by a forbidden area, and even the Taoist ancestors cannot pass through the forbidden area. The reason why the inheritance of the domain boundary appears here is that because a fragment of the domain rushed through the forbidden area, came to this area, and slowly evolved into a universe. Zushin Daozu explained. Is it the universe I live in, or another universe? Yi Tian widened his eyes and asked. It's the universe you live in, so now there will be domain ruins in this quasi-Dao world. Maybe there will be more advanced domain ruins in the future. At that time, I am afraid that even the ancestors will be moved and enter your world. The Tao of Heaven. In fact, this time, the appearance of various inheritances of the ape sect also made the Taoist ancestors stunned. They also did not expect such a weak ape sect to have such a high-level inheritance, even better than the inheritance where their power is located. However, there is no treasure that makes the Tao ancestors crazy for the time being, so the Tao ancestors can still abide by the agreement and will not come to the quasi-Tao world. But this agreement will definitely not last for too long, and one day, the ancestors will come to this world. Back then, it wasn't necessarily a good thing for the world. Yi Tian also understood this truth and felt the pressure immediately. You must grow up as soon as possible, and you can't rely entirely on the master. Although the master is powerful, there are definitely many Taoist ancestors who are stronger than the master. Yi Tian secretly said. Chapter 959 Inheritance of the Holy Ape. Teacher, your world contains huge opportunities, not only for us, but also for you. If there are no domain relics, your ultimate achievement limit is estimated to be Daozu. After all, our region is fundamentally there is no inheritance leading to the ancestors of Taoism. The relics of the realm have the inheritance of ancestors of Taoism. Once you get such inheritance, you have the hope of surpassing the ancestors of Taoism. Zushin Daozu said solemnly. Master, this disciple understands. Yi Tian nodded. Okay, the teacher is leaving, because of the relics of the ape sect, the Taoist ancestors in the chaos are already preparing for what will come in the future, and the Zushin lineage also needs to be prepared. After Shu Tian Daozu finished speaking, he left here. Yi Tian did not continue to enter the real-time tower to practice, but came to the real inheritance of the ape relics disciple trial space. He is also interested in the inheritance of true disciples, perhaps not as good as the golden ape body refinement technique, but not necessarily by much. The true disciple trial space also tests the combat power, potential and talent, etc., and also needs to defeat some powerful puppets. For Yi Tian, it is not difficult to break through the true disciple trial space. Not long after, Yi Tian came out of the true disciple trial space, holding a true disciple order in his hand. Yi Tian came to the True Inheritance Hall after obtaining the order of the True Inheritance Disciple. The True Inheritance Hall is very large and relatively complete, occupying an area of nearly 100,000 miles. Moreover, the materials for the construction of the True Inheritance Hall are also very extraordinary, and the value of this True Inheritance Hall alone is unimaginable. However, the True Inheritance Hall and the ruins are linked together in a large and incomplete formation. Unless the formation of the True Inheritance Hall is broken, there is no way to move the True Inheritance Hall. And destroying the Great Formation is equivalent to destroying the True Inheritance Hall. It is difficult for the major top forces to do it. Even if they do, they will not do it. Yi Tian took the True Inheritance Disciple Order and easily entered the True Inheritance Hall. In a boundless void, Yi Tian appeared here, and immediately discovered huge bronze-colored monuments. These monuments were standing in the void, and they were inherited from the true disciples. There are 123 monuments of inheritance, and the inheritance of the ape sect is really a lot. 1. Yi Tian said in shock. It stands to reason that the heavenly ape sect with such a profound background should give birth to a Taoist ancestor, and it cannot be an ordinary force without a Taoist ancestor. According to the information, the heavenly ape sect is one of the subordinate forces of the holy ape sect. Perhaps after the heavenly ape sect gave birth to the Taoist ancestor, it would immediately join the holy ape sect, so from the beginning to the end, the heavenly ape sect had no Taoist ancestor. It can even be said that, the heavenly ape sect is one of the branches of the holy ape sect to cultivate Taoist ancestors. However, most of the disciples of the heavenly ape sect do not know about this matter, and it is estimated that only the true ancestors know this secret. Yi Tian muttered. It is precisely because of this that no matter how weak the heavenly ape sect is, its inheritance is definitely above the top chaotic powers. The true ancestors haven't come yet. Once the true ancestors come, the inheritance of the ape sect will probably cause a fight. Yi Tian thought to himself. True disciples have many inheritances. Yi Tian is also confused and doesn't know which inheritance to choose. Swish. Yi Tian shuttled around constantly, checking the inheritance information on the giant monuments. Although he cannot observe the real inheritance, he can see some simple inheritance information. This is also a setting made for the true disciples to choose the inheritance. Otherwise, the true disciples do not know what the inheritance is, and they would not dare to choose randomly. Inheritance of the giant snake. Wind roar is inherited. Inheritance of the Gahu lineage. 1. Inheritance of the wild beasts. 1. The phoenix lineage is inherited. Yi Tian took a closer look at these inheritances and found that these inheritances are all related to some powerful beings. The inheritance of the ape sect should all imitate some ancient and powerful beings, plus their own perfection, so as to form a practice method belonging to the practitioner's line. Yi Tian suddenly realized. I have practiced the golden ape body refinement technique, and this chaos body refinement technique is estimated to imitate a terrifying golden ape. I should choose an inheritance that matches the life of an ape. Yi Tian followed this route to search and found a total of 42 inheritances. Because most of the inheritance of the ape sect is related to apes, there are more inheritances about apes. For example, the inheritance of the yellow ape, the inheritance of the iron ape, the inheritance of the diamond ape, the inheritance of the roaring ape, the inheritance of the pupil ape. Suddenly, Yi Tian discovered a true inheritance called the holy ape inheritance. Holy ape, could it be related to the holy ape sect? If so, the potential of this holy ape inheritance may not be ordinary. Yi Tian thought to himself. So, Yi Tian chose this sacred ape inheritance. Walking into the inheritance monument, Yi Tian began to receive inheritance information. Boom, countless information poured into Yi Tian's mind. After a long time, Yi Tian really accepted these inheritance information, and suddenly felt that this inheritance is not simple, but it is not very complete. Only half of the inheritance can only be cultivated to the extreme of the true ancestor, and there is no inheritance part above the Taoist ancestor. Ask for flowers. Yi Tian guessed that the second half of the inheritance is estimated to be in the holy ape sect, and it is estimated that there is no inside the heavenly ape sect. Moreover, he guessed that other inheritances should be the same, and they all lack the following inheritances. Therefore, once the true ancestors of the heavenly apes sect are promoted to the true ancestors, they must go to the holy apes sect. Otherwise, without the subsequent inheritance, the growth rate will be much slower, and unless they change other routes, it is difficult to make great progress. In addition, the cultivation system of ape sect has high requirements for inheritance, and it is difficult to progress without inheritance. The cultivation system in Yi Tian's chaotic area is relatively casual, but because of the randomness, the combat power in this chaotic area is not strong. If compared to the same level, the practitioners in the realm are estimated to hang up the practitioners in this chaotic area. This is not a guess, but a sure thing. Certainly. Yi Tian will not follow the line of the inheritance of the holy ape, his path has long been set, and he will only learn from the inheritance of the holy ape. The inheritance of the holy ape includes many aspects, among which the core inheritance is a cultivation method of the power of the holy ape that can be directly cultivated to the extreme of the true ancestor. The power of the holy ape is similar to the divine power of chaos. With the power of the holy ape as the main force, combined with many body refining techniques, it is enough to make one's own strength extremely powerful. But once you have cultivated the power of the holy ape, it is more difficult to switch to other cultivation methods. The Xuanshu art that Yi Tian practiced before was not so restrictive, and the golden ape body refinement art only focused on body refining, and did not require other aspects. Strictly speaking, Yi Tian did not practice a powerful and restrictive cultivation method. But at the true ancestor level, it's different. The true ancestors need to cultivate the power of the true ancestor, and they must cultivate a cultivation method, otherwise the power of the true ancestor will be difficult to progress. Although Yi Tian is not yet at that level, he has long thought about his own cultivation method and the future, he will create his own cultivation method. Originally, Yi Tian was worried about his lack of background, but the ruins of the domain gave him hope that as long as he found more inheritance, he would definitely be able to create a powerful method that perfectly suits him. I have gained an inheritance, yes, it's time to go back to practice. Yi Tian walked out of the monument and was moved out by the true inheritance hall. Afterwards, Yi Tian returned to the giant city of heavenly apes. A new round of practice continues. Chapter 960 A new opportunity for the human race. There are many things Yi Tian should improve now, such as the golden ape body refinement technique, the prototype of the great Tao, the origin divine ability, or the technique of the realm. The technique of the realm is one of the inheritance of the realm, and it is one of the necessary techniques for practitioners in the inner world. It's a pity that Yi Tian, aka the universe, has practiced the universe within the body, but it does not have the inheritance of the technique of the realm. In the inheritance of the holy ape that Yi Tian got, there was a realm technique recorded, but it was only a relatively simple realm technique, which could be called a lower realm technique. The technique of the realm is very precious. Even in the realm, it is one of the rare inheritances. Many small forces do not know the technique of the realm at all. Yi Tian can obtain the technique of the lower realm, which is also very good, and can increase a certain strength. This realm technique is called the Golden Eye realm. Once you have practiced this technique of the realm, when you use it, the enemy will have a feeling of being stared at by the golden eyes of 260 in the dark. A certain sense of fear and panic. The general inferior realm technique can at most exert 10% of the power of the inner world, and the Golden Eye realm can exert 15% of the power of the inner world, which is also a very good realm among the lower realm techniques. Surgery. Yi Tian took the lead in comprehending the Golden Eye realm. Once he practiced it, he could immediately increase his combat power, which was more cost-effective than cultivating other things. Since it is a low-level realm technique, it is not difficult to comprehend it. In addition, Yi Tian has a super god-level super comprehension talent, and his own comprehension is also incomparable, so his cultivation speed is very fast. In just tens of thousands of years, Yi Tian has successfully cultivated the Golden Eye realm. After practicing, Yi Tian began to test the power of this realm technique. There are also many beings in the universe in Yi Tian's body, and there are even some Earth-level creatures that he once put into the internal custody. Immediately, he released an Earth-level creature and cast the Golden Eye realm on it. Boom! In the eyes of this Earth-level creature, a golden pupil with terrifying majesty stared at it, and the huge pressure hit it, making it almost impossible to move a bit. Fear is all over the body. The next moment, its pupils enlarged infinitely, and its soul gradually shattered in endless fear. It's dead. Seeing this scene, Yi Tian was surprised. He didn't do anything to this earthly venerable creature. Although this creature was very weak, the little fear effect attached to the Golden Eye realm actually scared it to death. Today, the Golden Eye realm is only an entry level, and if it is elevated to the realm of small success, great success, and perfection, its power will be even stronger. In the days that followed, Yi Tian comprehended the Golden Eye realm, practiced the Golden Ape body refinement technique, and occasionally comprehended the Great Tao to improve the prototype of the Great Tao. As for the source of divine powers, Yi Tian temporarily gave up on comprehension. He waited for other aspects to almost reach the limit, and then slowly comprehended and created the source of divine powers. After all, if you want to create a stronger source magical power, the time spent is not a little bit, but a long time. As time passed, Yi Tian's strength became stronger and stronger. And Yi Tian's ranking on the True Monarch list is also getting higher and higher, from the 62nd place on the True Monarch list at the beginning, all the way to the top 50 and the top 30 on the True Monarch list. This day, Yi Tian's Golden Ape body refinement technique has reached the third highest level of achievement, which is equivalent to the 9th level of the highest level of the True Spirit chapter of Xuanxuju. The Golden Ape body refinement technique has consumed almost 20% of Yi Tian's resources. It is enough to see how terrifying the Golden Ape body refinement technique consumes resources, but it has also made Yi Tian the first combat power on the True Monarch ranking. Now, Yi Tian's physical strength is still far away from the ultimate True Monarch, but it is much stronger than other True Monarchs. In addition, Yi Tian has several origin supernatural powers and a powerful prototype of the Great Tao, so the battle strength is one he jumped to the top of the list of True Monarchs, and no one could match him. The third major achievement of the Golden Ape body refinement technique is the Peak Realm. The prototype of the avenue is 99,942 meters, the Golden Eye realm is the ultimate realm, the three major source supernatural powers of Shenwei, God Extinguishing, and Blood River Real Body are small peaks. This is Yi Tian's current cultivation progress, which can be described as terrifying. Yi Tian became the number one on the list of True Monarchs. Many True Monarchs congratulated them one after another, and the power of the Void Heaven Temple also surpassed many great powers in an instant, and it is even expected to compete with the top great powers such as Chaos Trading Firm. Of course, this only represents the forces in the quasi-Dao world. But even so, in the era when the true ancestor could not come, Yi Tian was the foundation of the Void Heaven Temple's suppression of other forces. After all, the half-step true ancestor is almost always in retreat, preparing for the attack on the true ancestor, and hardly participates in other things, and it is not very convenient for the half-step true ancestor to bully the true monarch, otherwise it is equivalent to breaking the rules. Therefore, no one can restrain Yi Tian. Originally, Yi Tian was going to continue to retreat and push his strength to a stronger level. After all, he is still lacking in many aspects, and he can continue to improve, far from reaching the pinnacle of a true monarch. But at this time, something big happened in the outside world. Therefore, Yi Tian can no longer continue to retreat and cultivate. The giant city of the ape, an attic somewhere. Yi Tian met with Yanglong Zhenjin. What happened? Yi Tian asked. Master, there is a big event in the human race, I can't handle it, I can only tell the master. True monarch Yanglong said quickly. What the hell happened? Yi Tian asked. There is a strange place in the territory of the human race. The strong people above the universe gods can't enter. Only the weak human race can enter. After some human races came out, their bodies became very powerful, and their bloodlines also became very powerful, as if they were reborn. General, true monarch Yanglong said. In the beginning, this didn't cause much of a stir. After all, no one cares about the opportunities below the cosmic god, and the weakest powers are those above the heavenly monarch, who would care? Weak. But the point is, those human races who came out of the mysterious land have grown too fast. More and more human races have been transformed by the mysterious land, and one by one they have become genius characters. They have reached the level of god generals, and they are not weak god generals, but 6 or 7 star god generals. 6 or 7 star gods. Only then did Yi Tian realize how unbelievable the chance of that mysterious place was. The human 5.8 clan has always been weak on the basis, it is difficult for the 4 or 5 star gods to be born, and what is the concept of 6 or 7 star gods, it is difficult to cultivate too many top powers. But the human race has successively born a large number of 6 or 7 star god generals, occupying many positions on the god general list. This time, a huge force was exerted, and many tops, the big forces started to investigate the situation of people. Suddenly, the mysterious place could no longer be concealed. The news was leaked, and many top powers began to observe the human race and the mysterious place. True monarch Yanglong is just an ordinary true monarch. Even if his cultivation base has reached the late stage of true monarch, he is still an ant. How can he stop other true monarchs? Big. Unless the Hall of Void Heaven is willing to offend all the forces at the same time, this is not realistic at all.